Let's see here. Yeah, we got all the stuff. We got everything.
I'll
We
light
need.
my Jolly Rancher candle, so I've got some ambiance.
Oh, of course you're going to make fire when we do this.
Of course I have fire.
Course.
Fire.
Yes.
Make fire. Okay.
I have made fire!
Yeah, you have. All right, here we go then. Yeah, we're good. Okay. It be goo. It begins.
It be goo now.
It be goo now. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Maybe you and I could get together for a beer or something sometime, huh?
A beer? A beer? That's... It's funny. It's like you're acting like I just saw you last week.
Spinach? This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Hello, and welcome to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. Episode, what the hell is this? 629. Woo. I'm Scott Johnson. Joined today by Brian. If you grow a mustache, no one will be able to tell you played the dad and the brother Dunaway.
Nobody knows. Oh, hi. This week on Film Sack, we head back to the Netflix to where it all started and do that arm wrestle hug thing with our local beefcake Chicago bartender who is pulling us a big old draft of our favorite brew that tastes like Ron Howard action thriller from 1991 and has no problem talking about his daddy brother issues while buck naked in a firehouse shower. An activity best left to young, attractive people who have had 6 or more months to power squad their way to a spectacular 2 seconds of a soapy butt shot. Totally worth it. Look at him. That's my brother's butt double, goddammit. Anywho, you ever find yourself running through a burning warehouse building full of lava-hot scaffolding and flammable barrels of fire going off like bottle rockets, and you're thinking, now would be a good time to resolve some family issues with my brother? Just remember, could be worse. You could have to axe fight your way past a guy whose nickname is literally Axe. Let me ask you a question. How's that working out for you? Dying in the back of an ambulance? Why, I do believe that is the second time you died in this movie, Mustache Man. Randy? If you go, we all go. No, I don't want to go. Let go, Randy. Randy, let go. Let go!
Oh, man. You really got a lot out of that final warehouse bit. There's a lot in there.
That was insane. That's where the budget went.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
where all the big money
The
went
butt
for this
squats.
movie. All right, very well done. Let's go over to this one. Randy, last time we made him... Sorry, let's do that again. Randy, last time we made him make and serve lunch to nothing but a towel. We got more sausage than was on the menu, Jordan.
Oh, God.
Aloha, Scott. Brian. Welcome to Being Fireman. I'm your teacher, Henry Winkler, and you're going to all graduate from this class. Because thanks to budget cuts, we only have like 15 firemen in the entire city. It will be fine. This is fine. We haven't lost anyone on the job in many hours, and so can you if you follow my 3 easy rules. Number 1, for every 10 firemen assigned to a shift, you're required to have exactly 2 black guys. No more and no fewer. Please remember that when it's time for anyone to talk, because only the white firefighters get to speak. Number 2. In a city like Chicago or New York or Boston, remember, there are only 2 types of white guys, Irish Americans and Italian Americans. That's it. And whether you're a white guy named O'Shawn or a white guy named Mordelli, you are required to be drinking beers at all times, unless you're working. But the instant you're off work, beers for everyone. Number 3. And this is important. In a shower room with 10 shower heads all around the walls, you are required to use the shower head right next to the only other man who's in there. And you are required to talk nonstop while showering naked next to him and his dangling penis. Don't forget to spit water right next to another naked dude like you're a fountain statue as a treat.
Oh,
I see we're both scarred by the same scene.
Yeah.
Do you want the guy on the other side of the room where you can't
look around and see if he's looking at
Yes,
your butt?
everyone wants that. That is how the reality works.
I mean, if you're
Right.
if you're a super good friend, I don't know. They were still too close. They're still too close.
I'd shower next to anyone.
Like I
you
said,
guys.
I
Just saying.
haven't done I haven't done comfortable casual conversation next to somebody in a shower since I was in high school. The last time I was probably comfortable with my body.
Oh my Lord. It's high school. Wow. I would like to know more about this
Yeah.
story, but on a different day. I really do. With us finally, Brian, I told him not to have sex with single white females on the top of fire engines. Ibit.
I see what you did there. Single white female.
Deep cut.
All right. How about a parody of a cover for this intro? And this one will probably surprise absolutely nobody. And why, when I hit the play button, is it not playing as I do the talk up? Let's try closing it and reopening it, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not indeed?
Is it the fact that I played a little bit of it during the there we go. All right, let's see if this time it works. All right, cover of a parody. Here we go. I'm driving home at night. It's been a long day at my job. I pull up to my house, lock my car with my key fob. I walk up my front steps, and my house keys I require. 'Cause when I turn the knob, ooh, fire. Middle of the day, carrying blueprints with my hands full. I work in a big church, 'cause we're doing a remodel. My keys are in my pocket of my fancy gray attire. Was that a wisp of smoke? No. Fire. You had too many storylines right from the start, but it's made by Ron Howard, so it's got a lot of heart. The romantic bee story where they did it on a truck. There's gotta be better places if you need to hook up.
Good job.
In front of the prison board, at my parole hearing, in the palm of my hand, answers right where I want them steering. De Niro shows me the doll, and it's revealed I'm a liar. He asks me what I want. Ooh, fire. Living thing, that fire. I like how it makes me feel. Fire. Want to burn the world with fire.
And what do you want the world to do? Burn.
You went all out with the sound effects. I love that.
Yeah, I had to. I don't know. It felt like it needed something in the chorus there.
They're so. I mean, the movie's so famous for having
Nailed
these
it.
weird sound effects for fire that I'd never heard before, and
Yeah.
I went out of my way to try to capture each instance in the thing, and I think you did them all. I think you got all of them.
Yeah.
I only got two, but they're the two best ones.
They're the two big ones.
So yeah, that song, in doing that, so it's got quite a history, right? The Bruce Springsteen wrote it, but didn't recorded it, but it didn't quite feel like a song he was going to include on the Darkness on the Edge of Town album. So he gave it to this guy named Robert Gordon, or had basically wrote it for him to record. He's a rockabilly dude. That guy recorded it, and it's at that point that I'm looking at the lyrics thinking, oh yeah, from a guy's perspective, basically he says, I'm pulling you close, you say no, but I know that you're a liar.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, this isn't so good when it's sung from the dude's point of view.
Yeah.
When it's sung by the Pointer Sisters.
Yeah,
and
the
they're
Pointer
like,
Sisters turned it around. You're pulling me close, right?
right,
Yeah,
you know I'm a liar, right? I'm telling you no, but you know I'm a liar. It's like, okay, that's a little bit better, but yeah, people talk about I'm on Fire. Oh, how funny. By Bruce Springsteen being a problematic song because of the daddy thing. Nah, no, that's nothing. This little more problematic.
A little bit, yeah. Those lyrics are a little rough. Well, you did a fine job, of course, and we're talking about the film Backdraft. Yes, that's right. 1991 has reared its ugly head and said, remember Ron Howard and his brother? Well, good, because here they are again, making a thing.
Almost didn't recognize the brother there for a second.
Right.
Yeah. I was like,
Coroner.
How could you ever not recognize Clint Howard?
I'll admit.
Well, he did a good. He looked different. He looked. I think he had a little bit more weight on him, so he didn't look quite so sick.
Yeah, he usually looks like a big time
He looked pretty
gargoyle,
healthy.
and his teeth are usually kind of gnarly. He didn't look like that in this one.
Yeah.
Looked pretty
no.
chill. He also,
I feel like this movie is way, way past the point of no concern about spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, Backdraft, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. We've already spoiled it. I think Dunaway actually spoiled the ending right at the beginning of this episode.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It is a mystery thriller, and boy, does this thing have a twist. I'm sorry for you if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
it's a mystery thriller, brother, romantic relationship, separation, arsonist.
So that is the complaint, right?
Yeah.
The complaint is that it's got 7 different storylines, and like some of the smallest ones are the most interesting.
Yeah,
I agree. I like the detective part. That's my favorite part. I want more
Yeah,
Robert. I'd do a whole movie with Robert De Niro going around looking.
Congratulations! There's something called Backdraft 2. Guess what?
Shit.
Yeah, but it doesn't have more De Niro. There's no way De Niro signed up for the sequel.
No, he did not.
But he barely looked like he
anybody?
signed up for this one. He looked like he was unsure if he was even supposed to be there, but whatever. It's fine. Even when he's half-assing it, just getting a paycheck, he's still Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone seen the sequel?
No.
Okay.
I
So it just
skimmed
has-
through the first of it just to see what it was about, and essentially it's a continuation of, remember the kid here, and he's just a kid in this one. Oh, he grows up and he becomes a firefighter too. And guess what? Another disassociated father figure that's an uncle now instead of
Is
So
Billy
it's got all the
Baldwin now
same
as
juice.
the
Yeah.
Is he in it though?
Donald Sutherland too.
Billy Baldwin's in it though?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was like one of those crappy everyone's in the cast.
No, you got Baldwin and Donald Sutherland came back. Surprisingly, Donald Sutherland came back because
unsurprisingly to me, I feel like between this and the Hunger Games, Donald Sutherland is a scary dude now. I am like,
much scarier.
I do not want to. You don't want to mess with him. Like he's always lying. He's a guy who's never telling you the truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, he's only. I went down a bad hole on ages because 91 doesn't feel like that far away to me. And finding out that at the time that this was made, Kurt Russell is only 40. He just turned 40, so he's just barely out of his 30s. That seems insane to me. Sutherland is like 52 or 3 or something.
Isn't that funny? Like you look at Sutherland and say, "Wow, he in this movie is younger than I am right now."
Yeah, it's really weird. And then you look at these guys now; they're in, Kurt Russell's in his 70s, and kind of looks at, but
Scott
at the time,
Glenn,
Scott Glenn he's an ancient piece of wood now. He's just a piece of
he
wood.
really is.
He's a petrified piece of wood in the desert, someplace, just waiting
He's
for
a
next
mystery
role.
though. Like they in his Wikipedia page, they don't say what year he was born. They just say he was born January 26th, but no year. You just have to kind of wait till he dies, cut him open, and count the rings, basically.
or he's like one of those that was the mom lied to the school board, and it's like he's way younger than you actually would think. But how is he aging? He aged so badly.
Yeah,
so
but
much.
I love it. I love it.
So IMDb says he's 1939. So maybe it's just he's gone into Wikipedia and taken that out.
Maybe.
So maybe he's 84 now, and he was early 60s when he made this movie.
I mean, he was, according to the stuff, he was 45 when he made it. So 5 years older than Russell, or somewhere in that range.
40s? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Scott Glenn was born looking like a stick.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this and say, oh yeah, there's no way that Scott Glenn during this movie is older than I am now, or is younger than I am now, and he totally was.
Yeah, it's weird.
So was Donald Sutherland.
Yeah,
so was
Sutherland, all the old people.
Walsh, of course.
Oh yeah, JT Walsh. He's still. I mean, when the rundown, not the rundown, What's the one where
He's
they?
dead now, isn't he? Didn't J.T.
Yeah,
Walsh pass away?
Yeah, he had a heart attack at like 50 something.
Super young. Yeah.
And we just talked about him in that one where he's with Russell again, out in the desert. What's that called?
Yeah. Just did it last year, earlier this year.
Sideways
Breakdown,
wiener guy.
yeah.
What's it called? Breakdown.
Breakdown. Another compound word.
Yeah, there it is. There's a lot of mixed stuff here. We're going to hear, though, what this movie actually is from the voice of a listener. Now, I asked for it last week. I said, hey, if one of you listeners wants to send in an intro in lieu of Mr. AI freaking fake Scott Fletcher, we'll play it. Mm-hmm. And I also didn't think very hard about this because in my head I'm thinking, one person will send one. It's like 20. So here's the problem. How do you choose? Here's how I chose. Random rolled of a D20 dice that was on my desk.
One is still way fewer than I thought you were going to get.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But apologies for that.
You were going to make an AI out of their voice, right?
Oh, was I going to? Well, No, I think what we asked for them is they were just going to read it. Is all we were going to.
Okay.
They were just going to do the intro, and then we might do guest fan intro reads. And I'm happy to do it, but just know that moving forward, if you guys want to do these for upcoming films, you'll get rolled on a die for how I pick you. So it's always a little bit of a luck of the draw.
Could be a waste of time.
It could very much be a waste of time.
you could spend all those precious seconds recording something that doesn't get used.
Yeah. I mean, it's all of maybe 20, 30 seconds worth of read, but just know that going in. So here it is from a famous Muppet. And again, this is based on the roll. I think I rolled a 6, and it was the 6th one I got. So here it is.
Hi, everyone. Kermit the Frog here. I'm here to present for Film Sack, Backdraft. A rookie firefighter tries to earn his older brother and other firefighters while taking part in an investigation of a string of arsons and murders. This detailed look into the duties and private lives of firemen naturally features widespread pyrotechnics and special effects. Whoa!
Okay, there you go. Kermit the Frog. A usable
badly,
Kermit the Frog.
Whoa.
Go ahead,
I desperately wanted it to end with "Yay!"
Yeah, right, exactly. With hands fluttering behind him. Yeah.
Nicely done. And so again, if people want to do that, you can. We'll But what I may start doing is listening to them all and picking the one that's the best. Not saying that one wasn't, but that way I can ensure that we get a really good quality one every week. But just know there's competition. That's all I'm saying. All right. We live in a world where more of you than one wanted to send one in, and that's just the world we live in now. Directed by Ron Howard, written by Gregory Wyden, and starring Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, and one Robert De Niro as your main cast there.
Not our first Gregory Wyden written movie.
Oh, tell us more. What else did we do?
Oh, he's responsible for the first 3 Highlanders. We've seen Highlander, Highlander 2, and Highlander 3, all credited to Gregory Wyden. And he also is responsible for the Prophecy 2, which we saw.
Oh,
okay.
That's right. Now that you say that, I remember TV's Travis pointing that out to us about the Highlander connection, as he would do.
That's what his job is in this world.
That's what his job is, exactly.
Is to let people know about that. Well, I remember seeing this back in the day, I think on video. I didn't see it in theaters. And Kim remembers this. She remembers watching it, which is funny because she's the one that usually forgets. But I forgot almost everything in this movie, almost all of it. My only memory was fire creeping up on the ceiling and floor, or sucking up through a door like it's breathing in, and then weird sound effects. And I remember Kurt Russell, and that's it. I remember nothing else.
I remember the awesome scene of them pulling out of the firehouse with them getting dressed on top of it. I remember that was really cool. I thought that was such a nice. I mean, serious. That was such a cool shot.
Yeah.
This was during our heyday of going out to the movies every Friday night and seeing whatever was brand new. And so we absolutely saw this in theaters, and I'd forgotten. The only thing I'd forgotten between then and now was the actual who done it. So I was kind of halfway through the movie thinking, oh my God, it is Kurt Russell doing it. Oh, he's so jaded, and what a shitty brother he is. And
I fell for all of that again. All of it.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me. In fact, I think that's why I enjoyed the watch, because I didn't expect anything. Had I been more familiar with the plot, I would have been not disappointed, but I would have been like, all right, well, here's the formula. They adhere to the formula. But I guess what really blew me away is the fire effects in this thing, which are all practical.
Oh yeah.
Still incredible. Like, holy shit! How did we not get 15 crew people dead making this?
So I watched an interview with Ron Howard about this, and he was talking about that they were planning for the longest time on using CGI, and basically it was like 6 weeks until there was the do or die moment. There were 6 weeks before shooting, and they said, "All right, here's what the CGI fire looks like." And Ron Howard looked at it and said, "Yeah, this is not going to work." And so he had this guy who was going to do some practical effects and said, "What can you do?" And the guy said, "I'll take it all on." And he went to what's called the fire lab and came up with all of these incredible effects. Probably the most amazing of which is that fire moving across a ceiling looking like a textured carpet kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of rolling towards you like a wave.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's really something. The movie had me very uncomfortable during parts, and I say this with a little bit of disappointment because that stuff so overshadows the dialogue and the acting and the other stuff. Like it's very serviceable. And it's got a little rah 90s action kind of thing we were sort of used to back then. Hans Zimmer delivers an almost exact duplicate of what he would do for The Rock.
Yeah.
I mean that. I have some later. I'll play it and it'd be just like,
oh,
what?
really?
It's like holy shit! He really did just kind of use the same soundtrack, and it's fine.
I loved it though.
It's that era. It's Bruckheimer-y. It's all the things we liked about these '90s movies, and I like the whole firefighter angle, and these are heroes, and they're out there doing their thing. It's all good, but it did, if anything, aged poorly for me. It's the story is a little formulaic, and not super well delivered. But then anytime a fire hits, it was like, holy shit, let's go.
Yeah, and I'd give a lot more credit personally to the acting because I think Kurt Russell, especially in those scenes where he has to look like he's in pain or he's really good at the slow motion cheek waggle, like
oh my god, that was so cool when he's like mad.
When he's mad and he's being held back, I think that's incredible, and definitely De Niro but I think the standout for me is Sutherland. Just his ability in those 3 scenes where he's talking to De Niro about the out in the hallway. And you haven't told him who his dad was coming to see, and that joy on his face, and then his in front of the parole board, incredible, and then even his later thing with Baldwin, where he's like, look for the person who's around fire, who knows how.
Look for the helpers.
Yeah,
look for the helpers. Look for the fire helpers.
Yeah,
but he for me is the standout, and I think that's why I was surprised that he came back for the sequel, because I figured it'd be like, oh yeah, no, I put everything I had into the original movie. I don't want to do anything for a sequel that could dilute the power that I put into that performance.
Yeah. It reminded me of it's a Hannibal Lecter role, right?
It absolutely is.
You're the arson who knows how the criminal mind works, blah, blah, blah. So you poke that guy to get the info, and this precedes...
Use a thief to catch a thief thing.
Yeah, and this precedes that movie by a year or something. So, I don't know. Kind of ahead of its time a little bit.
And I feel like it's the biggest fault of the movie. The way it hasn't aged well for me is the twist on the story. When I saw it in the 90s, and it has been like 30 years since I saw it, and for some reason I confused it with parts of it with Contact. I can't explain that. I will admit that I think Zemeckis and Howard are kind of similar directors. But anyway, I just watching this movie this time, I was like, wow, Billy Baldwin's a really good actor. Like he's got an almost impossible role, because he gets set up at the very beginning as someone who has massive trauma, PTSD, and he's been like not really working through it.
right. Yeah.
But like the problem here is the bad guy turns out to be someone that you're supposed to think of as a good guy. And there's a bunch of misdirection, and that bad guy is a firefighter, and a veteran firefighter. And you're like,
and
I'm
one
like,
that was saved by the hero's dad. Yeah.
But a lot of that comes from... Oh, go ahead.
I just would have. I think I would have appreciated the film more if J.T. Walsh's character was also the arsonist. Or he had hired an arsonist, and we were kind of shown that person, and it wasn't best friend firefighter killing friends,
Uncle,
right? Like it's like
Uncle
no,
Axe.
this is too
Uncle Axe.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah,
it was too much of a twist. Is that possible? It's too much of a
sure.
twist.
I think there was a lot of
Yeah.
twisty twists. Like it felt obvious it was the brother, and I even bought into it. And then later it was like, oh no, it's not the brother. It's freaking Axe. And why is it Axe? And what's that confrontation going to be? And there's some fun to be had there, but it is a little bit of like, I don't know. It's like cheap magic. Early on, it's like, it seems like Axe is really the one to carry. He's the
it's
old
almost
blood.
like
Yeah.
I'm your father, whatever, Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Jeez.
a little bit of
They
that
had to
going on.
convolute this. Actually didn't bother me when we found out that, but spoiler, didn't bother me when I found out that Darth Vader was his dad. That was actually kind of cool. But then when they was like, oh, and also Leia's your sister. And I was like, oh, come
sure.
on. Back up a little bit, brother.
That's right, exactly. And so is your uncle, and so is
Right,
your third cousin, and
Uncle Ben was always there. He was
yeah. But I think Randy, you've got a point. I actually disagree. I feel like almost anybody could have been in the Billy Baldwin role. Like you could have thrown Rob Lowe in there. You could have thrown Emilio Estevez. You could have thrown almost anyone from that era into that.
I would have liked Keanu
Could
Reeves
have,
in
but
this
I
role.
think-
Would have been good. Don't you think?
I think Billy proved himself though. I was glad to see him prove himself somewhere. You're right. You could have thrown somebody else in there, but he was, he had to prove himself, and I thought he did well.
He did all right. I don't know. He's not the actor his brothers, even his idiot brother,
Stephen
Baldwin. He's
I don't know.
Steven's hilarious though.
I'd still go see a movie with Billy over a movie with Steven, unless Biodome is fantastic.
Well, I
and
always
Usual
think of
Suspects,
Usual
course, is-
Suspects. Yeah, it's always
Usual Suspects though. It feels like Stephen Baldwin accidentally got that role.
Yeah.
Like they said, all right, hey, we've got Alec Baldwin for Usual Suspects. Oh, wait, did I put Stephen on the the request for audition? Damn it. All right, well, let's
I
let
guess
him
we'll
do
just
it.
have to live with it. It's fine.
Because it's not Encino Man. It's not Biodome. Not Encino Man. Well, he had something else around that time.
Yeah,
Was
I
like,
can't remember.
but
That was. He didn't have his moment was much shorter than Billy or Alec,
sure.
obviously, but
for sure.
yeah, it's interesting though. One of the things the trivia pops out early is that Kurt Russell, Kevin Casey, Scott Glenn, and William Baldwin did a lot of their own stunts, and I wondered why this was the case because inside the credits, I had noticed before I read this that in the stunt section, stunt credits, they're all listed as stunt actors as well as actors, and I thought, well, that's unusual, isn't it? Or maybe they
Just
always
double
do this.
dipping.
Anyway, I guess the stunt coordinator guy named Walter Scott was so impressed by their performances, he listed them as stunt performers in the credits.
Wow.
So that's cool. Yeah. These were our top men back then,
That's right.
Yeah,
it's like getting to put an extra thing on your LinkedIn profile. It's like, now I can call myself a consultant.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah.
Okay, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, right. Jackie Chan doing all his own stuff. That's true. But it was it worked. Like all these things we've talked about, deciding not to go CG with the fire, all these things added up to being as of this year, the most successful firefighter movie ever in the history of film. I don't know how many there are to compare it to.
I saw that stat and I was like, I can't even come up with what would be second place. Like, what's another?
Does anyone know?
What's another popular firefighter movie?
I can't think.
of Ladder 49.
Travolta. Yeah, there you go. Ladder 49 with Travolta.
I forgot about Ladder 49. Yeah, okay.
See, must not been great, huh?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, must not have been great.
Was that good? Was that after this, or before? Was it okay?
Yeah. Yes,
2004, starring Real World Australia. No, Real World. Where was she? Jacinda Barrett. I'm trying to remember which Real World she was on. It was one of those within the first 10. The Australian.
Oh
yeah.
Woman.
Not
Anyway,
the road rules.
Not Road Rules. No, she was definitely Real World.
Okay.
But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, John Travolta, Robert Patrick, and Jacinda Barrett.
I feel like the Towering Inferno needs to be in the discussion because, when we sacked it, there's a lot of firefighter firefighter stuff.
Yeah, but there's firefighters in the way that a heist movie, you can't call a heist movie a cop drama. I think
All right.
Towering Inferno is a
All right.
a disaster movie. Just happens to have firefighters because the disaster is a fire.
Yeah, they don't focus on the firefighters. Whereas, like, if you're talking
That's
about one that
right.
focuses entirely on firefighters, I honestly, without you guys mentioning the John Travolta one, I can't think of anything. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like
What about that? What in
I mean, there's TV
Kirk
stuff,
Cameron?
right?
So,
Yeah,
was it
Chicago
Kirk Cameron in some
Fire.
kind of?
Kirk Cameron.
Was it Kirk Cameron in some kind
Oh.
of weird?
What about
fire
the one that
movie
was a
that
couple
everybody
years
loved?
ago? There was one a few years ago with but it was in the forest. It was a fireproof.
Oh yeah, with
Is that what that was?
I don't know if that's-
Angelina Jolie or something. Or
Yes.
Oh no, you're thinking about something else.
I'm
You're
thinking about
something else. I'm talking about
Those Who
I'm
Wish
talking
Me
about
Dead. I think
Fireproof.
was,
Oh okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fireproof is that 2008 romance drama with Kirk Cameron and all that stuff.
Oh my
really?
Lord.
Was that before we didn't
Yeah.
like Kirk Cameron?
No,
that was right
I
on
was
the
not.
that was on the
No.
cusp.
Okay.
That was on the cusp of people turning away from Kirk Cameron.
What
I
if you-
remember
what if you never
the
liked him?
turning point though, and it was Kirk Cameron's strong beliefs about the 2000 election. That's when Kirk Cameron revealed himself. The mask came
Okay.
off 2000.
I don't remember
Okay.
why.
I think
or
a lot
don't-
of people still love Kirk Cameron.
No,
but
well,
yeah.
I'm sure some do, but I never did, so it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me where he goes or what he does.
Yeah.
Because I was never much
Yeah,
of a
me too.
well, not Who's the Boss. What was his name of his show? Growing
Charles
Pains.
Growing Pains. Yeah.
Growing
you
Pains.
I almost
Wow.
did Charles in Charge. Yeah,
Everybody name some 80s shows.
exactly.
Quick,
Small
finish
wonder.
Yeah, Small Wonder. That's
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I don't.
I
have,
think I was out once he started doing the was it Left Behind series. That thing's
Yeah.
just so navel crazy. I can't watch any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Fireproof was okay. As a
Was it?
it was independently done joint, I think, or something.
Yeah.
It did
By
pretty
the
good.
way,
at
I
the
gotta
movies.
give kudos to Scott. By the way, when we talked about Those Who Wish Me Dead, the Angelina Jolie thing that I think went straight to video because it was during the pandemic.
Yeah,
that thing
feels
came
like
out.
one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
For not calling it a Nicholas Holt film.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in
I'm
that.
impressed by that.
I probably would have had I seen it, so I never saw it.
Oh, really? Oh, it's
Yeah.
excellent.
Is
It's
it
very,
good?
very good.
Is it worth
Yeah,
seeing?
John Bernthal, Jake Weber, Aidan Gillen, it's Littlefinger.
I just remember him.
Finger.
I remember him, Barenthal, and Holt walking through the forest trying to kill somebody or something.
They're your bad guys.
Yeah, that seemed cool. Notice the
Is
restraint.
Paw Patrol a firefighter?
Always, always and forever.
I love that idea.
Have you
Yes, it
noticed-
is.
have
It
you
just
noticed
came
my-
out right? It had a movie.
He
Paw
did.
Patrol movie. Yeah.
Have you noticed I've shown
Yeah.
such great restraint so far in today's episode? This being the week that the Furiosa trailer debuted, and I haven't said a thing.
Did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except
Yeah,
now.
you horned it in.
Yeah, I was gonna
Good.
say because we haven't
Except-
done
except
anything
you
that could
just
give you away.
did.
Well, you brought up the Holt thing, and I thought, well, let's
Oh,
talk
gotcha.
about how I have avoided this
I mean,
discussion.
I brought up Charlize Theron earlier too.
Yeah, it's coming up on tomorrow's TMS. I can promise you that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'll-
Yeah, I've only watched it like 30
I might
times.
tap out during
Yeah.
that.
I've watched it 30 times. There is a scene where in this
We're not
trailer.
even gonna get through this one, are we?
Hold on. Where
tell us.
where what's his beak? Chris Hemsworth with his fake nose slips off. By the way, his
Yeah.
character is called Dementus. I've been doing some digging.
Oh, really? Okay.
He goes sliding off the back of this truck that looks like it's leaving the bullet farm, and it's covered in bullets.
Yeah.
And
Bullet,
there's
like
tons
a
of them.
waterfall of bullets.
I feel
avalanche
like
of
I've
bullets.
watched this thing enough to name every bullet. That's how much I've seen this trailer already. Anyway, back to this though. Let's do that.
Before we get too far
yeah.
away from the beginning, I just want to complain. Sorry.
Do it.
Oh, sure.
But there's one of two ways they should have gone, and they went the third wrong way. Number one, have someone else play the dad who dies.
Right,
really
right.
would have worked, and it doesn't really matter who it is. Just have someone else play the dad who dies. What they did was they had Kurt Russell not only play the dad who dies, but your second option would have been to continue to obscure him throughout the first scene. Where
Right.
they started out, you didn't see his face. You saw the kids acting off each other, and the kid gets in the truck, and you didn't see his face. And that could have worked if they'd really stuck with it, because like the kid ends up seeing his dad die, and you could have also had that layer of the kid doesn't even really remember clearly what his dad looked like.
Right.
However,
Yeah.
they decided to just have Kurt Russell in the worst disguise ever, which is just a tiny bit of facial hair, as his own dad. And so what happens is, and I'm surprised IMDb doesn't credit him for playing 2 roles in this movie.
I know. I couldn't find it. It drove me crazy.
I mean, he still plays daddy no matter what, whether he's brother daddy or daddy daddy.
Right, exactly.
Brother daddy.
No, and I get
Uncle
that,
baby Billy.
I get that there's a real artistic flair to having him in both roles. Like there really is. Like they never do flashbacks. The entire rest of the movie, there's not a single flashback, which surprised me because that's sometimes how you build drama.
Right.
Anyway, Kurt Russell, when he appears as the older brother, now grown up, I spent 10 minutes telling my brain that is not the dad. The dad died. Stop it.
Yeah.
And it ended up making me mad at the movie for doing that to me. You know, like I just could not get over that.
I didn't like it either. It bugged me.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. And part of the reason I didn't like it is because that's the one thing I wasn't sure I remembered is like, wait a minute. Oh, Kurt Russell's the dad. Wait a minute. Who plays the brothers then?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, no, he plays both the dad and the brothers.
Yeah, it's just kind of a, I'm sure it was a choice they thought made sense. Also, they said, here's my biggest complaint is I have a time consistency problem. Because if this was set in modern time, 1991, which I assume it was all, looked like it was all that.
20 years later.
This what I'm saying is 20 years prior.
That's what they said, 71, then.
Yeah,
because it started at 71.
And that's my whole point. That's my whole point.
Right.
It didn't look anything like 71 anywhere they went, except
I thought
it was
cars,
so romanticized.
As they were driving down the road, like looking at the cars parked on the side, were definitely like.
And the hippies. I mean, it was like ultra. It was ultra 71.
Really? Because I didn't feel that at all. I watched it going, is this just the next week? Because that's all this looks like. It didn't look like
everything about it. Everything. They got the old fire trucks in every shot they could. Yeah. I thought it was brilliant.
I've got the wrong eyes for this then, because none of that looked real to me, or none of that looked legitimate. It just looked cheap and like they went, well, they'll soon. Time passes.
It looked overworked like Forrest Gump does to me now. It looked a little overworked. I'm like, not everybody was wearing, colorful shirts. Not everybody was doing, this or that.
But I want to say one more thing about Kurt Russell as his own dad.
Sure.
Kurt Russell is a legendary ham actor. He is he is the guy that you can count on to over emote. And that's why we all love Tombstone so much, because Cosmatos convinced Kurt Russell to be stoic the entire movie. And you're watching it like, wow, what a performance. But actually, no, it's just every other performance, he really goes for it. Like
it's the only reason I like Tango and Cash.
Yeah. Yeah, he's or Big Trouble in Little China. Like he's outrageous. He overacts in a way that is very endearing. And so like this movie, it's great. It's fine. He's gonna be like, I didn't get the character at first because I was like, this is supposed to be the stoic older brother. He's supposed to be, like Wyatt Earp. And it's no. This movie, he is also very traumatized by his father's death. It's just in a different way. And so Kurt Russell goes nuts, and it's awesome. However, again, having him also play the dad, it made me mad. Like I'm like, because how do you discern between these two characters, right? He just he is the dad and he is the
yeah, he's the right. Yes, and I don't know. You could have done anybody, honestly. Just make a different guy a dad. That's it. Didn't have to be. We would have gotten the point. Yeah.
There's for sure.
There was nothing about this where we're like the audience is supposed to later go, oh right, genetically they would look alike. Yeah, okay, I remember now. The dad is their
alike.
Dad. Like,
yes, not twinsies.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, because that's weird.
They could have gotten one of Baldwin's brothers and aged him up a little bit, and that could have worked.
Oh,
that would have been good. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been. See, I would have been fine with
so
that.
You would have went the other direction.
Who's the Baldwin that was on the cop drama? Not Alec, not Billy, not Steven. Richard Baldwin. No,
Name another Baldwin.
Yeah,
Quick.
name another Baldwin.
Any other Baldwin.
It's like
Oh.
Family Feud.
All the Baldwins. Let's find it.
Who was
Anyone ever search
Daniel
for all?
Baldwin? Maybe it was Daniel Baldwin.
Oh, it might be Daniel. Yeah. Alec, Daniel,
Yeah.
Billy, and Steven are the brothers.
Okay.
And Daniel Baldwin is the one who looks like that English.
Yeah, he was on Homicide.
Homicide.
It's the one that took place at home. Homicide.
Homicide.
Let's see. I'm trying to find a picture.
Second oldest Baldwin.
Yeah, there you go.
Married 4 times. Wow.
Look at that shit.
Daniel Baldwin's like list of credits is like a list that someone made up. It's like every single thing. You're like, is it real or did we just make it up?
Yeah. Do you think those? Okay, I ask this every time we do a bunch of brothers all work in Hollywood or sisters or whatever. Think they hang out or go to Thanksgiving or do anything? Or do you think
I think so.
I'll bet they do.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they're still humans. They're humans, man.
I mean, I hope so. I don't know. They're in Hollywood. They got money. Everybody was mad at Alec at one point. I don't know if that's still true. I mean, in the family. I don't mean the shooting thing. It's all separate.
I mean, that happens to anybody. You don't have to be rich to do that. I have people mad at me.
Yeah,
I know.
that's the question. Do they invite Steven?
I mean,
And do they rip on him when he leaves the leaves
right.
the room to go get more pumpkin pie?
I mean, they have to. Steven's the youngest, right? I think
so. Yeah.
They probably see him as just annoying. I don't know. Like family dynamics are interesting to me. Add tons of money and fame to it. You got it's a weird pie.
And I don't think just like, do they get together is the question. Because like I haven't been in the same room as both my brother and my sister since my dad died 14 years ago. So that's just not like, and I don't consider there to be anything really broken there. It's just the facts of life, I think the question.
I know, Tootie.
The question is, what's going on in that family group text? I would like to know.
Oh yeah, the group text there. Now that probably is more interaction than anything else, right? Hey, saw you in that film.
Or what if it's not? What if it's like Billy Baldwin isn't even in the family group text, and they're like, yeah,
right,
that guy.
Oh, I forgot that Billy Baldwin's married to one of the Phillips of Wilson Phillips.
Still married?
Still married to China Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. He looks like the most down to earth. Daniel Baldwin looks like a guy you could just chill with and talk about.
No, not Daniel. Billy Baldwin.
Oh, Bill, you're talking about Billy. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Daniel Baldwin's been married 4 times and has a partner.
Oh, okay. Oh, he dated Jennifer Grey for a while. Ooh, hubba.
Oh, wow. Pre-nose or post?
Yeah, you got to know.
Pre different human being. Remember when she looked totally different and now she's a very different looking person? It was pre that.
Yeah. So back
it's amazing what a nose job will do.
Baby.
It's weird.
Yeah, I know, it is weird. This is a fun little twist of fate. Speaking of that, so the casting in this movie, in an interesting twist of fate, says the IMDb trivia. Ooh. Brad Pitt lost out on this role as Brian McCaffrey. By the way, love a movie where they yell Brian a lot. It's always fun for the show.
Yeah, that's great. That was awesome.
So he lost out that role to William Baldwin, who then had to be released from his contract to play the small part of JD in Thelma and Louise, which was recast with Pitt. So they switched sides, basically. Switched places.
Really? Oh, funny. Wow.
And I think, I won't call it a mistake, but that was a big deal for Pitt. That was a huge stepping stone in his career.
Yeah, would it have been such a big deal for Baldwin? Probably not as big as it was revelation-wise as it was for Brad Pitt.
Yes, I think that's probably true.
It worked out. I think really it worked out the best way it could have worked out. Because I think Brad Pitt in this role would have done great, would have done fine, and would have been a breakthrough role, and we'd still have Brad Pitt would still be the mega star that he is today.
Yeah.
But Baldwin making his first appearance in Thelma and Louise would be like, all right, that was a dude.
Yeah, and I'm convinced that the only actor that I can picture it if I close my eyes is Keanu Reeves in this role. If there's somebody else who's going to step in at that time, so we're talking like Johnny Utah era age and everything. Right. He'd look like
one of the other people who was in the running apparently was Robert Downey Jr., and I can totally picture that too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, totally.
He was drugging it pretty hard then, though. That was a hard
It was,
time.
it was during dark times for Iron Man.
I felt like it was such a difficult role, and that Billy Baldwin rose to the occasion, and that's just like, that's impressive to me because it's just wow. How do you get all of this across and not be someone we hate? Right? Like it was always teetering on the edge of we're not going to like this guy because, he's a screw up and so on. Which reminds me, Scott, can I have a trope alert?
Of course. You can always have one. Here's one here. Whoops. There it is.
two fresh-faced young guys just graduated from the academy. The friend who gets second billing in the cast list, Tim, he gonna die.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah,
gonna
you knew it.
die.
Well, in intensive care. He's not
Oh
confirmed
yeah, he didn't
dead,
die.
right?
That's right. He didn't die.
It's just
He made
just
it.
this again, like you said,
Oh.
this movie had seven
Mostly
threads.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw him.
He
We
did.
you all. I'm Randy. I think to your point, when we saw him show
Yeah.
up at all, we immediately.
Yes.
I assume we all went, "Oh yeah, he's screwed. He's not going to make it very long."
Which is
For sure. Yeah.
which is one of those things that we were talking about. Just too many threads of intrigue in this movie. Like I could have stood with just building all the characterization around Billy Baldwin trying to deal with his friend being quite a better firefighter, and the ex-girlfriend comes around and so on. Like that was a whole interesting plot. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Mhm.
didn't really also need the Donald Sutherland plot, or over here we have the Kurt Russell and his soon-to-be ex-wife plot.
That's the one I'd give up. Keep the Sutherland plot. I think that's important. I think you get rid of the you don't need to make him also like, oh, he's reckless and he's taking too many chances as a firefighter. Oh, and he's also going through a separation right now, which is kind of related, but sort of. Like you could get rid of those. Keep the crooked Swayzak politician.
I do hope in our redoing they keep him living on a boat, because I thought that was fun.
Very
Well,
Captain
he was
Jack.
selling his dad's boat, right?
Oh, it was
Captain
big
Jack
time
was great.
Captain Jack. Yeah. Do we have?
That's
I know we do this all the
hilarious.
time, and I don't know if we've done it with Kurt Russell before, but have we ever set our favorite roles for him
Is
before?
it Captain Ron?
Oh.
Wait a minute, it's Captain Ron.
Oh, Captain Ron. I'm sorry. Captain Jack is Depp.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Captain Ron. My favorite is one from. It's a more serious role. I think him in Miracle is really amazing. He plays the coach of the U.S. team against the Russians in that hockey game or hockey movie. It's a fantastic movie. Still holds up. But I like him in that. Anybody else have like a favorite? I watched The Thing again over Halloween, and The Thing is real good.
The Thing. I mean, Hateful Eight. He's great in that. I need to
really
look
kills me.
through to remind myself.
It kills me that IMDb has a known for section on every page, and it's the four things that I guess somebody's decided, and Kurt Russell's doesn't include Tombstone because it's just such a.
Oh yeah, how do you not put Tombstone in there? That's
No
stupid.
brainer.
In fact, you just changed my
I
answer.
haven't.
Go ahead.
I can't say what my favorite is because maybe he's really good in Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. As this come out,
It's supposed to be. Yeah, it's a new TV show, not a movie though.
A new TV show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, it's a new TV show. Oh, I'm sorry, you only not performance.
I'm just saying like favorite
movie.
just favorite movies is all. But it
Okay.
but
That's
So I
the
can't
movie,
say
okay.
I can't say when he was the Tarzan kid and on Gilligan's Island. Okay, I got to rule that one out.
I got to rule that one out.
That's
That doesn't
bullshit.
count. But you can do the tennis shoes has memories or whatever the name of that movie
The
was.
computer
Yeah,
work
yeah.
tennis shoes. Yeah, I forgot about
That's
that.
right.
It's not the tennis shoes
Executive
have
Decision.
memories.
God, he was so good in that.
and Tango and Cash, and
Yeah.
the Thing.
I like Soldier.
Yeah.
Pretty much
kill-
anything he's in is my favorite. As soon as I see
God,
him, I'm
I
like,
know.
oh,
He's-
favorite.
Yeah. I get excited when I hear Kurt Russell's in a thing. I just do.
Yeah, me too.
He's
I
great.
loved him
Me
in
too.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah,
So
Guardians
good,
of the
yeah.
Galaxy 2. Ego, right?
Yeah.
The,
He
the
really,
living
he's really
planet.
he's been growing on me as Santa Claus, and
Oh yeah.
this year, if you're listening to this in the distant future, this is the year when the television has been inundated with an advertisement where John Travolta is Santa Claus,
yeah,
and he looks
yeah.
terrible. Like he's the worst fit for Santa Claus
Yeah,
that has
he's doing
ever
that.
been.
He's doing that song while he's walking down.
Yeah,
the thing.
Staying Alive. And it wasn't like it was the second viewing, like, oh, duh, because it's freaking John Travolta. I didn't recognize him at first.
He doesn't look the
I
same. He
thought
looks so
no,
weird.
it
now.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird looking now.
If only they had gotten the guy from The Most Interesting Man in the World commercials to play it,
Oh, yeah.
that it would have been awesome.
I think
but,
he's dead
man.
now. That guy.
No,
I
no,
think
don't say that.
He's the most interesting dead person alive. Look for
No,
it.
no, no.
I'm not actually sure about that. I don't even know how you find it, but
Jonathan
How
Gold.
you find out information?
No,
on the
Jonathan
internet?
Goldsmith is still alive and kicking.
is he
He's fine.
still the most interesting man alive though?
I think so.
Okay.
Jonathan
He was for about
Goldsmith-
5 minutes when you made everybody run to Google to Twitter. To Google if he was dead or not.
Check his death. Yeah. Hopefully we didn't just curse
Yeah.
him. I don't know. That's usually a TMS thing, but
There's some
we'll do our
interesting
best.
trivia about Kurt Russell. One of his first roles was in it happened at the World's Fair, 1963, an Elvis Presley movie, and then later he played Elvis in a TV movie called Elvis. in '79, and then was the uncredited voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump.
Wow. He's just
Yeah.
going to be, he was always meant to be that role.
And then in 3,000 Miles to Graceland, he played not Elvis.
No.
Oh, I guess he played an Elvis lookalike. an
Holy
Elvis,
shit, I love that movie.
impersonator.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
do that one. Can we do?
Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
Sure.
dude. Can we do that here? Can we put that one in the list? Let's get that in there. Let's make that happen, Randy. Put that in that list. Put that in there.
All right. You got
Here's a fun one. Fun trivia. 200 children auditioned to be carried by Kurt Russell. But what I love about this IMDb note is that it said, here's the exact way it's worded. More than 200 children auditioned to be carried out by to be carried out of a fire by firefighter Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
So you're saying he carried 200. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Did
they
he
all
do the
tried
actual
out. I
rehearsal
doubt
too?
it. I probably assume they had
Right.
proxies for that, but how you chose the kid you chose, and he did nothing. I mean, he just,
Right. It's not like he said, yeah, that's the kid I want to carry out of a fire.
we found our guy.
That kid's like a
I
stack
want
of
to carry
potatoes.
that kid right there.
It's a very weird thing to find out, but 200 kids audition. My gosh.
And
that's
it is the money shot in the movie, right? Like the thing that you're going to remember and you're going to see again later in life, right?
Right.
What's crazy though is this was considered a massive blockbuster in 91. It made entirely in the worldwide release of this movie grossed 152.3 million. That sounds like nothing now. And it's not just inflation. Like that's just not that big a deal. Like were we still trying to figure out what a blockbuster was? And this is not even close to like Avatar money or a few years later you get Titanic money, like I don't know why this was considered so much money, but 150 we'd be complaining right now about Marvel's got another dud on their hands at 152 million or whatever.
Right, exactly.
I don't know why that number seems so weird to me, but at the time this was considered like massive successful. And
well, as we discussed earlier, also there must be something working against a fireman movie. There must be something that like audiences are like, oh, okay, that's a thing, but it's not like a must-see thing.
Yeah, maybe. Like I'm trying to think what this would be like. I think the reason that the TV shows, like network television, is the domain for cop shows and firefighters and emergency services and that sort of those sort of dramas. I think it's rightfully there because I think making it interesting for 2 hours means you have to go extra lengths to make it more sensational than it is. And this movie does that pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard, and there's a reason why it ends up being Chicago Fire and freaking ER and a million other shows.
Well, the fire. I read some some hot takes about how real firemen felt about this movie, and pretty much the consensus is, yeah, that's great and all, but that's not how fire looks like. That's not how it works. It's all in a smoky building. You can't see nothing. It's nothing like this, right?
Yeah, you're talking about the trope of artistic license, which is very big for this movie. If you go to TV tropes and look up this movie, there's an artistic license section.
and a lot of these firefights too, where I'm like, okay, you obviously have never seen a real somebody put out a real fire, unless they think someone's actually in the building. These people are like just running headlong into the fires and like punching the fire in the face. And I'm like, no, they usually they make a plan and they act with expediency, but they make a plan, and most of the time they're not in the building unless they have to be. These people were always in the building. It's like, let's get in this building, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Let's fight the fire from the
They were
alley.
into it. They were super into it.
Inside the building.
And it makes for a better movie. And not that the TV shows don't take a bunch of license as well. It's just that, I don't know, there's something about episodic television that serves emergency services television better. And so in that regard, I say hats off to Ron Howard for pulling it off. Like you actually did it. You made a really entertaining 2-something hour thing with a bunch of actors I really like, and you kept, you decided to go practical. Which, by the way, I know you already mentioned in the what he said in the interview about it, but absolutely the right choice. Had you tried to do
for sure
1991 CG before? Like we're not even Jurassic Park
you
yet.
imagine?
Oh my gosh. You want lawnmower man looking shit?
Right, exactly. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of what fire CGI would have looked like in 91, and just it had to be horrendous.
We have some examples somewhere. I don't know what. I'm sure we've
I'm
even
sure
seen
we
it.
do. Yeah.
I'm sure we've even watched it here on the show. But I'm glad they
this
didn't.
movie very much reminds me of what Twister would become in '96. Kind of like
interesting.
that.
Sure.
We give the fire, make it a living and breathing animal, and
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's fun to play with. Like the idea that this De Niro with his burnt back and his respect, but also his like relationship with fire. It's almost as creepy as Sutherland's, except Sutherland wants to kill people, but De Niro wants to save people. But he's got the same weird relationship.
Backstory. You're definitely like literally a backstory. It's about his back, and you're just like you're going, oh yeah, I want to know. He was obviously with somebody who was a little bit too maverick, and it's so what happened. But
my favorite
But
thing.
how great would that have been as like the sequel, right? A prequel with De Niro and Sutherland and that whole backstory.
I'd be into that.
Nope, no pun intended.
Turns out he started the fire that killed his daddy.
Yeah.
Especially since the character Donald Rimgale is based on a true life person named Donald Rimgale, who was present for the filming of the movie. They gave him a little bit role,
really?
gave him a walk-on role.
Isn't that nice?
See the real Donald Rimgale.
Keep an eye on him
Given
the
the
whole time.
arsonist and-
Yeah. Like, we're gonna be watching you the entire time you're walking around the set.
No, not that. You guys have mixed up. He's talking about the De Niro character. Guys,
Yeah.
based on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking
I
about
thought you were the
Sutherland.
arsonist. Me too.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna.
They're not going to let a convicted arsonist walk around the set and
I was
like.
curious. What a weird thing to do.
And it's such an interesting role because a fire inspector is half fireman, half cop, right?
Yeah,
he's got a really broad set of responsibilities. And the way they portray him in this movie, what Donald Rimgale does is he intrudes on other people's proceedings. Like you might be having a parole hearing and he just walks in and intrudes, or you might be having a press conference and that's when he attacks you or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like I found that really fun. I was so glad that they made De Niro that character, and then they just didn't give him enough screen time.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't. There wasn't near enough of that detective stuff. But when he went into to that meeting, to Sutherland's meeting, my brain would not let me accept that that's a thing you could ever be allowed to do. I don't think anyone.
Absolutely.
Well, no. You mean Sutherland's meeting, or you mean
Sutherland?
The parole hearing.
No, I know you have
he's
parole
the-
hearings. I'm saying how do you let a dude just stand up, walk over there, and like badger the
Well, I
witness?
don't think he's. I mean, because he's not just a dude. I mean, he's the investigator that probably has to attend to every one of his parole board meetings and say.
Does
you know?
he?
I
I don't know. I feel like they're asking me to accept a lot of.
It was probably a little bit artistic license, but I don't think that's as far from truth as
It is.
I think it's
really
pretty close.
really entertaining. Donald Sutherland as a firebug with the awesome prosthetic all the way across the top of his head. And he is in prison, but he's up for parole. So, oh, right, because he got away with some stuff. He's just sitting here admitting to crimes that he was not actually tried for. And like, wow, that's so entertaining. Like, I just wanted so much more of that.
Yeah, that could have been the movie for me.
Right.
Make this whole movie about, well, like Brian said, do a spinoff or whatever.
Give us a prequel with those two and the whole like wrapping the clangor of the phone bell and gasoline and gauze and stuff, and it's just fascinating.
I'd be into that movie. That would be good.
Yeah.
Not that this was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Dunaway, were you drooling over that 8-track player that
I was like, sweet, an actual operating 8-track. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
right.
That's pretty cool. I thought of you
about
too.
you.
Everyone thinks of you when retro shit
retro
happens.
gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
Is there an old reel-to-reel
Can't
tape?
stop.
Oh, I think it Dunaway.
Dunaway's got to play with it.
That's good. Dunaway gonna do what he do.
No, you got to do what do, man.
Jennifer Jason Leigh in this, barely, kind of, sort of. I really like her as an actress, but this was back in the sort of single white female days, and that's fine. Except I could not get over the fact that you would see these. How many years later in 2015 you would see her and Kurt Russell in Hateful Eight as this amazing like not couple. She's like his prisoner.
Yeah.
But man, what a
forgot about those two being back together for that one.
So good.
It's also funny because I was thinking about the roles that they were getting around this time, not just Jennifer Jason Leigh, but also Rebecca De Mornay. She had that Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which was kind of like the like another version of Single White Female, right? She goes in, kind of takes over the relationship to ace out the hero woman in the story.
Yep.
But my God, they were so pale in this thing. I felt like I was watching Frozen. They were like super Chicago translucent skin.
Was that a little too real for you? A little too real there?
A little too
Sir,
real.
This is our first Rebecca De Mornay film on Film Sack, but it's our
really?
second Jennifer Jason Leigh. Can anyone name the first?
Give me
Jennifer
a decade.
Jason
Can
Leigh?
you give us a decade hint?
We didn't do Fast Times.
I'll give you a hint. She and Jude Law were the leads of the movie.
Oh, yeah, that would be the Gross movie, right? The one with the stuff with the
Gross. Existence.
Good job,
Is that
Brian
Existence?
Dunaway.
Wow.
Wow.
The Gross
Think of the
movie.
name.
The gross
The
movie.
Gross movie
Gross
with the
movie.
stuff.
You know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Did she give you the grossest moment, Scott? Kissing Baldwin's sweaty, hairy chest?
It's
on
as
top of
close
the-
as we got because nothing
fire
in this
truck?
movie really grossed me out. Like it was
Yeah.
all pretty standard. And when she's up there kissing his nasty freaking hairy chest, it's about as close as I got. But I didn't even write it down because I was like, yeah, this movie's not doing anything.
You almost lose sight of her head among all that hair. on
Yeah.
Baldwin's
The thing I
chest.
don't remember the most is that this movie was rated R, and for lots of reasons. They had some violent imagery. They had this wasn't that much of a sex scene, but they were thrust. You know, when you're doing the
fully clothed
gore.
sex scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
you
was
see
rated
get
R for
naked,
gore.
naked shower butts too.
Yeah, and there was a lot of F
Yeah.
bombs, so
Well-
it was all the reasons you get a rated R. But I remember this being like a big PG-13, the whole family goes kind of movie. I don't know why, I just do. So unless it was
Yeah,
like
I couldn't get anybody to watch it with me.
Hmm.
And-
Oh,
and I
really?
mean,
Really?
Oh.
it just People on Fire is just not for everybody.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, that's true.
True story.
I
True
always
story.
forget you have a history with that. But I would have thought Will would probably have enjoyed this. 'Cause-
He's 13. This was rated R. It was too much of
No.
a stretch.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
All
a
right,
bit.
fair
It's a
enough.
little.
Yeah.
It's a little harsh. There is one point though I laughed so hard, and I'll play the clip later. But Kurt Russell decides that he wants to use a very creative use of the F word. And here's the thing: this will be the first time on Film Sack I didn't bleep it out because you have to hear the way he constructed it.
Awesome.
Might do it now. Here, listen to this. So, where is it?
People are scrambling for their volume. I was gonna play the thing.
My kid. Oh my gosh, my kid. He's going to be smart forever.
We're allowed one use of the F word per year.
We are.
Yeah, that's right.
In an
Yes,
R-rated
this is it.
review.
If I could find the damn thing.
I mean, I avoided it in my opening song. Jeez.
Is it so? It's when he was at the boat and he was yelling at his brother. Hold on. Oh, damn it. I can't find it. All right.
We'll get to it
well,
when
we'll
we
get
get
to
to
it,
clips.
and you guys will hear it.
Yeah,
And it's
it'll show up.
it's freaking
It'll show
great
up.
because no one ever said what he said in the history of ever. So
Oh, is it
okay.
is it a line as horrible as your glow flashing in your eye? Is it
Oh,
your
God.
career dissipation light?
They thought that was so clever. They
They
used
really
it
did.
twice.
Yes, it's
And I was like,
the most
oh my God.
yeah.
awkward phrasings.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's something better you could have come up with. Yeah.
100%
Anything.
something was better.
Yeah.
They made a bad choice there.
Your popularity in this city just went up in smoke. Boom. That's easier. Much
Done.
easier and right there.
Yeah,
And,
done. You wrote a
Yeah.
better movie. It's funny though because these movies back then they all seem to have this thing where listen early on to the film for someone to have a line, and then later have it thrown
Yes.
back in their face. You know, and this one you just saw immediately. It's like, oh, that thing J.T. Walsh just said that's coming back.
But, oh my God, the whole is there such a thing as a career dissipation light? Is it a light that lights up when your career
Yeah,
is dissipating, or
I don't know what that is.
And do I have one of
and
those?
why does it go into overdrive or high gear or
Yeah.
whatever? It's like,
That was dumb.
Yeah.
That was dumb. I'm giving him.
Oh.
Good.
wait, so if it's going into high gear, that means my career is going well because it's not dissipating because the light's getting brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know lights had gears. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
Right,
stuff.
it's totally a
Maybe it's a 90s
Mixed
thing. I
metaphor.
don't know. I don't remember
Yeah.
if we had.
Looks
dumb
like your lights are using the dim switch. Something, anything that made better connective tissue than that thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of JT Walsh, this was our third JT Walsh movie. Believe it or not, we have not seen
Oh gosh.
all of like he has so many things on our upcoming list.
Really good.
Just because we haven't ever had a chance to watch Needful Things yet. We haven't had a chance to watch A Few Good Men yet. He's in A Few Good Men.
Oh yeah,
what a career.
I can't handle the truth.
He's so great, and he's so good at playing that kind of character that is in power but skeevy and untrustworthy, but confident in his a-holiness. Like the breakdown was such a great example of how good he can be.
And then he's like, there's
good.
places where JT Walsh is completely misused. Like he's in Good Morning Vietnam, doesn't need to be. They don't get anything out of his skills in Good Morning Vietnam.
No, he would have been,
Does
as
he
much
ever
as
play a
I
good
don't
guy?
I don't want what's his name? Bruno Kirby was his name?
Yes, got
I
it.
love Bruno Kirby, and I wouldn't want to change it, but his role in that movie was more like something JT Walsh should have had. Should have been that, that's the kind of acting I would have expected out of him, but he kind of.
I just want Bruno Kirby telling me what kind of ice cream I need to have with each of my meals. That the perfectly paired ice cream. Well, I guess Daniel Stern was the one who came up with it, but Bruno Kirby was his buddy.
Yeah, he took it to the next level, which is what you expect out of your Kirby.
We haven't seen that, have we? We haven't watched it here.
We haven't watched what's it called? City Slickers? No.
Yeah, no.
I haven't seen it. I'm trying to answer the question, was JT Walsh ever a good guy? I haven't seen it, but he's apparently in the remake of Miracle on 34th Street, and so I'm guessing he's a good guy in that.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Is
he a good guy
is he
in
Mr.
Pleasantville?
Macy?
Pleasantville.
I don't remember what he did in Pleasantville.
I don't either. I just show him one of his last roles. Oh, The Negotiator. Yeah. We don't have that on our list. We need that on our list.
That's the which one is
Spacey
that?
And Samuel Jackson.
I like that movie a lot.
Yep. I did too.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to tear it down.
My final thought: JT Walsh was in an episode of The X-Files called The List, season 3 episode. The List. Watch that.
Right. Okay.
Love it.
It's good, eh?
What a weird.
Talk about
what a weird. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we get another pairing here. Executive Decision had both Kurt Russell and JT Walsh.
Oh.
They like to hang out together.
He was probably what? Let me guess. He was a high up in the government, had been compromised. And
Senator Jason Mavros. Yep.
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His role.
It still has somebody, and the JT Walsh estate, please fix his IMDb photo.
Oh, is it bad?
He looks like he's getting a parking ticket.
Oh yeah, look at this stupid thing. I forgot he had that.
Horrible.
Yeah, wait, look, honor his memory. Somebody who has access to this stuff and update that damn thing because that's stupid. That's horrible. It looks like TMZ took it while he was like doing cocaine by a parking meter or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Fix that shit.
Yeah.
He was our age when he died. That sucks. He should have lived longer. That guy.
Sucked. Yeah.
He should be old and doing stuff now, and all of us going, man, can you believe what JT Walsh just did in that new Oscar film thing? That's what we should be talking about in 2023. I hated that he died. And he was supposed to be this really nice guy in real life. He just couldn't play anything but a skeevy nightmare in a movie. It was just his deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he did it so well. It's fine.
We loved him for it.
Needed more of that.
Yeah.
What I did need more of was when they do the thing in films where they slow down the video, but then they have the actor record new audio. So, it's Baldwin going, Steve.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I captured that too because of how much I hate that.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it.
I can't stand it. It's such an old thing it's been around forever, that technique. But I don't. Exactly. I'd almost wish they slowed his voice down instead of same pitch. Like at the very least.
It would sound horrible, and it would be. They just don't need to do it, but it would be. It would be comical in a scene that shouldn't be comical.
Yeah, I don't love when they do that. So that sort of annoyed me this time. But by the way,
I also wrote down Bruce Hornsby just so I could remember that he had music in this because otherwise I would have forgotten because he's so damn boring.
So that was him during.
Hold on,
that was him. Was that him during the montage as well as the closing credits? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
That's how memorable. That's how memorable it was.
Yeah.
I don't like Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have this argument again.
Have we fought over Bruce Hornsby before?
I'm a pianist. I am given to love.
You're what now? A penis?
What's a pianist?
Okay, I got you.
Pianist.
Sorry. Misheard.
So hold on a
Pianist.
second.
Oh.
So
Wait, okay, hold on, because I like folks like Joe Jackson, who I think is incredible on piano. I like Harry Connick Jr. I like Tori Amos. You
Yeah.
can't just say it's because you like piano that you like Bruce Hornsby.
yeah, I mean, is it?
What I said was I am given to like pianists.
Yeah.
So I have there's a special there's
You're
a
giving it
special
like what?
allowance that I give to all of them.
Hmm.
Okay.
Even like Bonnie Raitt plays the piano, and like she's amazing.
I like
and
her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like her a lot.
yeah.
And her gray streak.
yeah, she's got a good
I'm
gay
just
streak. Gay
like
streak,
the
sorry.
very first time I ever heard Alicia Keys, I'm like, all right, I guess you and me for life, you know.
Oh,
like
yeah, well,
I just
yeah.
Do you like
that's
that
how
one
I
song?
am.
Everybody else you named, I feel brings something more and is way more interesting as a performer than Bruce Hornsby.
Do you like on my way
It's the way it
downtown, going
is.
fast, bringing me homebound? Doodly doodly doo doo doodly. Do you like that one?
Oh yeah, Vanessa Carlton.
Vanessa
No.
Carlton, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I do like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Do you-
especially like the Muppet version of her that went
Right.
viral last year.
Oh.
Yeah, that was great.
Driving around the city playing that song, it was great. But
Yeah.
no, I do like Vanessa Carlton too. Yeah,
All
I may not be a pianist, but I do like some.
I may be
I-
no pianist.
I think 1,000 Miles was overplayed.
Really?
Yeah.
1,000
I liked
Miles
it.
I heard too many times.
I'm not going to have this argument right now.
I like her a
No, but I
lot,
just-
and I like a moving piano through a city. All right, I'll just say
Just
it.
like I am, but what you do is you put me back at being like 10 years old, and Bruce Hornsby is just a big hit. He's on the radio. He's, MTV is pushing a pianist, which you don't see a lot of because
Sure.
and it's just like I can't help myself. I had both of his first two albums, listened to him a lot. Like that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just
It's
the way it is.
Look, I thought the
That's just
Oak Ridge
the way
Boys
it
were
is.
cool in in junior high, and I was wrong. But I still listen to the Oak Ridge Boys.
Oh.
I did. I thought they were great.
Oh.
Elvira, remember that, Brian?
I
Elvira.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hellfire
I thought
up.
about that during my during putting together my harmonies for the for the song. I thought about, for whatever reason, thought about the Oak Ridge Boys. By the way, Bruce Hornsby uploaded a photo a day ago of himself.
He has not aged well.
He is. I thought that was a
Yep.
joke
Happens
photo.
to the best of us.
Hold on, Bruce
Right. He looked like himself until he turned 60. And then over the next 10 years, he aged 100 years.
Oh yeah, there he is. I think he looks okay. He's got to be what, like?
I mean,
60s?
that can't be really him, right? That photo with the
One-
cigarette
the one on
sticking out of his
Instagram?
ear.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, he's just shy of 70, and he looks all right.
That could be him. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I don't know. He just looks like.
I don't believe
just looks
anything
like-
anymore.
Well, no, it just looks like a photo of somebody's grandpa that
We're all somebody's grandpa.
we're all somebody's grandpa. Yes.
yeah.
The,
Or-
the main defense for Bruce Hornsby, in my opinion, is that the way it is in Mandolin Rain got too much airplay. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying to say
That's
about
probably
1,000 Miles.
it. Yeah.
It got
Right.
too much airplay, and he didn't really have a lot else in the tank.
Mm.
Like he's a perfectly good,
Mhm.
performer with some perfectly good serviceable songs.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
he's not. He doesn't need to be a superstar.
Do you
Yeah.
guys?
I
Sorry.
liked him when
slight-
he was part of the Grateful Dead.
Oh,
But everyone was a part of the Grateful Dead.
Well, okay, fine.
I was
sure.
part of him as well for a while.
Yeah,
Just a couple of
I
years.
guess I was. Yeah.
Do you guys, when you see your sisters-in-law or brothers-in-law or anything like that, do you kiss them on the cheek when you see them after you haven't seen them in a long time? Do you you're
I don't kiss anybody on the
when
cheek.
I'm in the mob.
Yeah. I have a neighbor whose kids still kiss him on the lips when they see him, and they're all in like their 20s, and I think a couple of them in their 30s now. But that's just the thing they've done since day one, since those kids were babies, lip kissing on their parents their whole lives. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just different per family or whatever.
Sure.
But I couldn't do it. I can't get my mom.
I think it just depends really on how like you're brought up, right? Like if you come from that older generation that's carried it through, because obviously if our parents would have done that with us and been like, every time you greet them, you got to do a kiss on the cheek, or even the French thing where you do the both cheeks kind of thing, then it wouldn't seem so weird to us. But yeah, it does seem.
I like to think when you say the French thing with both cheeks, you're like talking about some kind of butt rubbing or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
both cheeks.
Baby.
Yeah.
Get
Both
them
cheeks.
Like
in
the
there.
shower scene, both cheeks.
Both cheeks.
Yeah, they were happy to show us some man butt. Got a lot of man bum.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Guess what you see when you go to the firehouse?
Yeah.
Man butt.
I can't remember the last time I had other dudes in a large shower space with me, and I think it's probably high school. Like when
Jim was why do you think I stopped going to the YMCA?
It's the swimming pool.
People
I'm getting ready to go into the
way too
swimming pool,
comfortable.
and they have that sign up that says "Take a shower before you get in the swimming pool." I'm like, oh, can I just do this at home?
Yeah,
But then I go in there, and it's like it's always really old, wrinkly dudes in there, and they're in there for a really long time.
And I try to accept that because when I grew up, I wasn't really involved with any major war where people were getting drafted, so I missed out on that, thank God. But I feel like people that are much older, maybe they grew up with all that. It's like, oh yeah, you just everybody, we go communally and we do this because that's what you had to do.
I was used to it.
You didn't
Yeah,
have to experience
that's true.
Yeah.
I was watching something else. What was I watching? Oh, I saw Hacksaw Ridge for the first time. I got in the mood and watched it.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's a fantastic movie.
Andrew Garfield. Yeah.
He's really good. He was robbed that year. He should have won. I mean,
There's, I cannot name a thing that, despite the Spider-Man stuff, the stuff that wasn't good, I can't think of a bad Andrew Garfield performance.
yeah, it wasn't his
some Andrew
fault.
He wasn't the problem with Spider-Man,
No.
the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
No, there were many other problems. He was not one.
Poor Paul Giamatti.
And look, I like Casey Affleck, and I think Manchester by the Sea is a good movie, but I still think Garfield's performance was better that year. But now I can only say that now because I finally watched it. But anyway, what was my point in that? Oh, there was communal shower stuff while they were in basic training. And back then it just was different. People were just like, hey, man, what's going on? Like, okay, cool. I don't know why we're weird about it now. I don't want to be in a shower.
Well,
with
I know
bunch of
why I'm
dudes.
weird about it. Of course we're weird about it. I mean, if you have the options, I'll keep that private. Thank you. If you have the option.
And then you do, like at
Isn't
our
everybody
gym.
weird about it always?
What now? Who?
Isn't everybody
Obviously-
weird about it
obviously-
always? Because we
No.
went to public school and we had to do PE.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are I
didn't like
remember
it
going to
then.
school and a
Like-
lot of people were comfortable with it. Very comfortable. I had friends that were always like, can't wait to take my shirt off. That's great.
Yeah.
Great for you. I'm so glad you're proud of your body and you feel comfortable in it. Not me, buddy. Cover it all up.
Yeah, keep that body away from me there, Chief.
I was impressed though with the people who were comfortable with it. It was like, I wish I could be that comfortable with it, but I'm not.
Me too.
Oh, man.
Definitely not comfortable enough to have a conversation. I'm comfortable
Right,
enough to go in there, do the business, get out.
Yeah.
Listen, you tell me I have to do that before I can get in the pool, I'll do it. But
I'll do it.
doesn't mean
Don't
I'm
talk
gonna
to
like
me.
it.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm glad others do it because I want to be in a pool. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, ever
It's
since
clean.
I learned that the only reason chlorine smells the way it does is because it has encountered horrible bacteria and then it puts off the smell. That's made me change my whole public pool life.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's disgusting. Because if you use chlorine purely and nobody's been in it yet, it doesn't smell like anything. It's not supposed to. It might smell a little clean or maybe a little sharp, but if you get in there and it's
Ozone-y?
like,
a little sharp.
it's like, smell
God,
that.
Just that phrasing is like, oh, that just grosses me out. Yeah. Chlorine smells a little sharp today.
Yeah. So hot tubs that just smell like
You might
major
have ruined me
chlorine.
for cheddar cheese now too.
There may as well be a dead
Yeah.
raccoon in there or something. It's disgusting. You don't want to be in there. Public pools are gross. Anyway,
Oh,
I
love it.
wrote here where did I put it? Jason Gedrick is rad and we should watch him more. So he's the guy that got burnt. He's the young upstart who's super excited about everything. We've seen him in something here. I like that guy. Especially
He's
now.
really
I like
good.
him older. We
We have seen him in Iron Eagle.
Oh, there it is.
That's right.
There it is. Couldn't remember.
That's right.
Good catch on that.
Yeah.
He had a small role in
Boomtown?
Justified. He had 10 episodes in Dexter. He's great. Super interesting guy. Underused here. His whole job is just, hey, you guys, I'm going to be like Goose from Top Gun, and I'm going to die.
Right. I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to get all burned up.
I'm going to be really optimistic. I'm going to have all my life before me. Every time you talk to me, I'm going to be excited about this job, which means I will be burned nearly to death. So bye.
Check that door.
Yeah.
Check that door.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that he's being screamed at to check the door before busting in over and over and over. And the minute you don't scream at him to do it, he goes back to his wily old ways.
Yeah.
That's I'm sorry now.
It is on him, right?
Yeah.
It's
He kind of got what he deserved. I hate to
he got
say
what
it.
he got what he deserved.
Yeah. Like, if you're not going to
Can't
listen
wait
to the
to
most
kick in some
basic
more
thing,
doors.
it's like, what's the most basic thing we've learned up to this point in the movie? When fire breathes back in under the door, maybe don't open said door. Done. Done. You're done. Yeah.
We've only been on the job for like an hour and 45 minutes. He's been there for at least months. So yeah, he should know.
Can I reissue a complaint I just made a few minutes ago?
Issue a complaint.
How is Jason Gedrick's known for section on IMDb missing Iron Eagle? He was the lead kid
the most
in Iron Eagle. He is the Iron Eagle, basically. What the hell?
Iron Eagle.
It was only for the first one though, right? Didn't he get out after that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably glad he's not known for that.
Maybe there's a thing going on.
What are the
where
other what
agents
else
go
is listed there?
Luck, Bosch, Dexter, and Backdraft.
Man, Luck didn't even
Okay.
get a full season. That movie
Yeah.
was going to be great, or that show was going to be great, and then they had horse problems on set or something. They had to can the whole thing. But it was Milch, the Deadwood guy, was making it, and who was in that? Dustin Hoffman. That looked so good, and then it just all went to shit because some horse died on set or something.
Yeah, that's a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah, I know. I think there was like not PETA, but some group got all up in their face, and it was bad. I mean, I don't want horses to get
One other thing I want to bring up, I thought about Terminator 2 a lot in this movie.
Really?
Oh,
explain.
That's an interesting connection. Okay.
Was it the big
I do
warehouse?
too, because that was it lost. This movie lost to the Terminator 2, right, Randy?
No, I thought about it a lot because Terminator 2 includes a bunch of scenes inside like warehouses where there's fire. And I felt like the way the score brings you around the excitement sounded like Terminator 2.
This came out
to me.
the same year as Terminator 2,
It did.
and it lost to Terminator 2. That was a bad year to come out.
The only three things it was nominated for were all like visual effects and sound and all that stuff. And all three categories it was nominated for, it lost to Terminator 2.
Yeah. It's a hard one to go up against when you're trying to have the summer blockbuster of the year.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Son of a butthole.
Remarkably,
really? Come on,
remarkably, when it comes to sound, you're never going to remember the person who scored Terminator 2, but of course you remember Hans Zimmer who scored Backdraft.
Yeah, and I remember it because it's the exact damn thing he used in The Rock 3 years later.
Yeah.
Which I will play later so you can see that I'm not crazy. My gosh, it's the dead on thing.
And then Trevor Rabin completely copied this sound and score way for Armageddon.
Armageddon, yes. I was getting Armageddon at feeling
Oh
real
yeah,
fast.
all these Crimson Tide, which I think was Zimmer again, but all these, that era of Bruckheimer-y kind of movies, even when Bruckheimer wasn't involved, they all had this soundtrack, and it all sounded the same. You could mix them all up, and you'd say, "Oh, all right, there you go." It basically it's what they use for Call of Duty games now. It's the same soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like we had this discussion around the Seagal movie, Under Siege.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Under Siege. Oh, I get it now.
Do you get it now? Oh, shit.
What? Okay.
All these years later. Under Siege.
Under Siege.
There's no way they really meant that.
I don't think it's not clever enough for them to even figure that out.
I can feel my career twinkling away in the gaslight of my what the hell is it? What is it again? A gaslight.
Your
in
career
my eye.
dissipation light. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just went into overdrive.
That's the worst part of that phrase is no one can remember it. I don't remember it. I just know it was dumb.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I got a little scrutiny. William Baldwin, the star of our film, claims that to this day, all right, and this was put in there in like the 2014 or something, that to this day, fire trucks honk their horn when they see him.
Oh my gosh! There's no way. They see him in a fire. Come on, they're flying by in a fire truck.
Bullshit.
Oh, what's up, Baldwin?
He's on the street. Yeah.
I hate that. God, it's the worst trivia in a long time because
Oh yeah.
A, there's no way to ever verify this, and B, why would they? Even if he was somebody like Tom Cruise, it doesn't matter. You're flying by.
Ain't no guys in the firehouse today watching no Backdraft from 1991. That ain't happening.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah, that I believe, but I don't think that they'd.
You think they got it running 24/7 at the local fire station?
I think that there's downtime. I'm sure that they've seen it. Sure,
there's plenty of downtime.
Well, you know what I'd like? I'd love for a listener who's involved in the firefighting arts to write in and tell us what do you guys actually do during all that downtime? Because there is downtime and there is training, but is it what the TV and movies show us, which is a lot of sitting around and playing poker, a lot of making food for each other for some reason? Like, what are any of those stereotypes correct? I want to know.
It's like any other job, and I'm sure it varies from station to station. But they got work to do. They got to take care of the firehouse. They got to take care of the trucks. There's tons of stuff to do in between fires.
Yeah, I would assume so. I just don't know what all because fire. I don't know how often. Well, you're in. Okay, so this is in Chicago. I would assume that's a busy station.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this movie is that they've been underfunded and their firehouses are getting shut down to make community centers. What a terrible bad guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole thing.
I know. I was like, wow, this usually it's like skimming money off the top or covering up a murder or whatever. Instead, this guy's just like, I want to hide all this and kill all these people so we can get more community centers built.
twirling his mustache.
Yeah. I'm sure that the idea there is that if he does that, he gets elected. Though that was the overall thing, is that he could be mayor.
He was helping it's the age old finance your developer buddies. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, and that was kind of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I just I could not stop thinking about how like the actual real life city of Chicago has like 4,000 firemen, and this movie treats the city of Chicago like it has 4 dozen firemen. Yeah, it's like it just didn't. I couldn't stop thinking about that. Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
This is just not. I don't know. This is just not the plot that I think it should be.
Yeah, there are parts of that I think don't hold up very well, or at least they make me question it. And I don't think you're supposed to question it, but they want it to seem like a tight knit little family. But then on the other hand, there's a bunch of guys who are actual firefighters in Chicago where they're filming this, and they're in this as extras, and they don't say anything. So they got a lost problem where half the plane doesn't talk,
that whole scene with the funeral, like where they're walking through the streets of Chicago, incredible, like really incredible, powerful scene. Those a lot of the guys in there were real firemen.
And that was cool.
Can you have a fireman or a cop movie without having that scene? Bagpipes time with
not if someone dies. They all got to do that. I think it's part of the law.
Yeah, my oldest niece is married to a fireman. They've been married 15 years. She's written a ton about what it's like to be the wife of a fireman. He's been climbing up the hierarchy in Austin Fire Department for for his entire career, and he's getting to a point of a lot of prestige and so forth. But the Austin Fire Department, like overall, it's like over 1,000 employees. So like. I get a very personal story all the time from my niece about what it's like for him, but he's one, he's one person. There's over 1,000 people, and that's just in Austin, like
it's a big group of people.
I wonder how he would, has he talked at all how he feels about that's that show Lone Star or something? That whole show is about, it's Rob Lowe. In fact, funny enough, because Brian brought that up earlier, but Heads like a fire engine show. That's a spinoff of something
911.
else.
It's a
911 Lone Star. That's what it's called. It's a spinoff from the original 911. But anyway,
that's right. Yeah,
that's all set in Austin or somewhere in Texas, and I wonder how much of that stuff is at all real. My wife watched that whole show, and every episode I was like, really? Today there's an alligator with a human child living
It's what
in it?
CSI had to do too. After they ran out of really good plot lines, it was what's the weirdest thing we can have happen here?
I've been going back and watching Castle, and I'm like, wow, I did not realize like how the later seasons just went crazy,
bonkers.
Like, what do you think that is? Is that like it's like a is that an audience? Is that a reaction to what your audience wants?
You got to grab it's got to what looks good what looks good and compelling in a commercial, right? What's gonna get people to come and watch our stupid show?
I guess
It's
so.
just-
I just don't understand. Like this one I watch, Rob Lowe's trying to figure out why a bunch of alligators are killing dogs or something. And I'm like,
I'm down with it.
Why aren't you fighting fires? What are you doing?
Rip for the headline. Rip from the headlines.
That's just felt weird to me.
Yeah.
And then there was, there's always a lot of melodrama and subplot. But again, I think that stuff, and those are very popular shows, and I think that stuff serves that audience well to have that on regular TV. Blue Bloods is for cops, what Chicago Fire is for fire, and Chicago. What's the other ones? Chicago
Hope. Chicago.
Always in the Chicago, baby.
Or not Chicago Hope, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago
PD,
PD, and then there was isn't there a law one as well?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I didn't think about it. There probably is a law one, but that Law and Order did this with all their spinouts and everything. But I just think that's its domain, and I don't know if we ever care to see something like this in a new way. Like maybe if the story's right, but I don't think there's ever a Backdraft like hit ever again.
Well, I think anytime there's something like 9/11, as tragic as it was, it also spawned a bunch of movies wrapped around that because people's interests were high. So I mean, I think if a tragic enough event happens that compels a story, I think we certainly could see.
True life event stuff. Yes, I could see that. Like they did the one. What's the Boston Marathon one that had Marky Mark in it?
Oh yeah, that was kind of interesting.
It was quite good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked that a lot. Although they made his character up, and it kind of annoyed me. Or he was not made up, but he was an amalgamation. Yeah,
right.
I kind of hate when they do that, but
I hated it when he told us to say hi to our moms.
Yeah,
that was my favorite part.
Always telling us that. I liked when he found a transformer. That was fun.
Yeah.
One time I was talking to my mom and I said, "Oh, by the way, Mark Wahlberg asked me to say hi to you," and she's like,
"What?
What's that?"
Nothing, Mom.
He's
Never mind.
He's in some weird. So on Twitter, X or whatever, there are ads the ads are terrible now because all the big advertisers bailed, and so now it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's in some weird ad on there where him and some guy with Jesus hair are playing golf, but talking about how you should pray before every golf game or something like that. It's some weird. It's weird. I don't know what's going on over there. Like it makes me want to just say, all right, okay, go. That's fine. Golf. Like, why are you telling me this? It's so weird.
All right, if you say so. All right.
I don't understand it. Okay, now we talked earlier about, do you think the Baldwins all hang out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There is a piece of trivia in here that may indicate a little of this. William Baldwin said in an interview that his relationship with Kurt Russell on screen and their experience together and as they portrayed themselves was better than any relationship he has with any of his real brothers.
Oh, interesting.
So that tells me there's trouble in Baldwin City, is what it tells me.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
You know who my favorite, not as nearly as famous as these guys, but Seth Meyers' family and his brother doing the podcast. And recently they had the yearly Thanksgiving thing where he has his family on and everything. Really enjoyed those. That seems like a genuine family.
I haven't heard
regardless.
It's a podcast thing? I haven't heard it.
Oh, yeah. Seth Meyers, stories from childhood or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. Stories from the backseat. I don't remember. But anyway, he's got a new podcast. He does The Late Show.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Nightly.
Didn't know about him. Well, everyone does a podcast now, so I don't know why I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. I like him. I didn't like him on SNL, and I get a lot of heat for this. I don't know why. Just always felt off to me, and I don't know why. He was a huge writer, big deal. He was like,
I liked his stuff. It wasn't like, I got to tune in to Seth. Like Norm Macdonald watching late night the news with him on SNL. I had to see that. That was compelling. Seth,
you had to every week. Seth Meyers, I don't know. Again, I'll acknowledge it's a me thing because everybody I talk to is like, Scott, what's wrong with you? But for whatever reason, he just didn't do it for me. But I really like him on late night.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's good on there. Wait, late night? No.
Late night.
Yeah, late night with David Letterman. Yeah, so they kept it. Yeah. Let's do some. One piece of trivia I want to pass up. Apparently, them running up the stairwell with their hoses. When they're having a little brother competition.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be real hoses and not the props that they had on set. They instead opted to do the real hoses. Those are heavy as shit.
Yeah,
yes, they are. They're
made out of like some kind of slide around and
they're just heavy.
They're made out of like rubber and some kind of impossible to burn fabric something, or like super heavy. You have to be able to handle so much PSI and stuff, or whatever the water pressure stuff is.
Yeah. I was impressed. I was just like, okay, all right. Look at you guys.
All right, you guys go ahead.
Look at you old actors, 40 at the time would have seemed old to me. But
I'm going to stay down here.
yeah.
I got to say again, this picture that you posted in our Discord of the 4 Baldwin brothers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a picture that it's a from 10 years ago. It should be titled. It should have a title like Botox, 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 a little less Botox.
Yeah.
Because
they
actually it should be Botox, more Botox, a little bit more Botox, a little bit less Botox.
Yeah.
And it's really like this should be hanging in like clinics where you go to get your Botox.
It's like point to which level pain level you're in, but point to which Botox
severity.
I hope I'm Daniel. I hope I'm Daniel when I'm in pain.
Right, and not Steven. Stephen Baldwin looks like he's been Botoxed to the point of playing the Joker in a Christopher Nolan movie.
He's got those duck lips.
God, I hate the pressure that these people are put under to do that kind of stuff.
They don't have to.
Terrible.
They don't need.
No, they don't have to, but they got a lot of pressure, and it's like if you want to stay relevant, it's such a high pressure field. I mean, you go like, oh, but they're making all this money. That's great and all, but still, I just hate. They feel like they have to do that.
Yeah, what I think about all the time when you see them, like you see Kurt Russell and Billy Baldwin running up some stairs. I always think, gosh, these guys don't eat. The actors, they don't eat. They're so skinny.
Yeah.
You should
eat some. Just have a little sandwich. It's not going to hurt you. You
Just
don't
have
have
a little sandwich.
You don't have to.
Then
you don't
won't be
have
able
to
to have your butt shot.
You don't have to Christian Bale your way through Hollywood. You can eat.
JT Walsh comes along. You're like, oh, that's a guy who has a burger every now and then.
There's an actor.
That guy knows how to eat a burger. I'd eat a JT Walsh burger. Yum, yum, yum.
Sure.
I'll have the JT Walsh and an
reverse
order of, I want a JT Walsh and a John Travolta milkshake and, right.
Oof.
And to be clear,
$5 shake.
$5 milkshake.
I'm complaining about the pressure that the business puts on them to not
me too.
eat. That's the complaint.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Like Christian Bale, the way he would zigzag back and forth, which he says has been bad on his health. Well, of course it has.
Yeah.
He, it netted him some really important roles and all that. But I don't know. I guess you just got to ask yourself, was it worth it? And maybe it was.
No.
Maybe it wasn't. I think we should all be like J.K. Simmons and just look ripped no matter how old we are.
It's always worth it at the time. But then when you look back, you go, maybe not.
Well,
I take it back.
Kate Winslet said it wasn't worth it at the time. Like
interesting.
She would have preferred to have not been pushed to the brink of anorexia and been successful. she would trade the success in order to have not gone through the.
But she didn't back then, so that tells you that it was more important for the success at that point as opposed to now when you have regret. Right?
Well, that's the whole. How do you have regret until you have something to regret, right? You got to experience it, I guess. But
yeah.
I don't know.
So I just posted another photo on our Film Sec Discord. This is one that almost needs to get shared because there is so much going on in this photo. I did put a better one where you can see bigger everybody. So you've got Jack McBrayer next to Robert De Niro and Julianne Moore. So Robert De Niro, again, back together with Billy Baldwin on opposite ends of a group of people. Jane Krakowski, who's just said, I'm not going to put my arms around anybody. I'm going to stand in front of everybody.
Well, also, she's being her character from 30 Rock.
This is 30 Rock, right? This
is a tribute to Alec Baldwin from 2017.
Oh, nice.
With Bill Clinton next to Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. And inexplicably Bill Clinton for some reason.
And every Baldwin brother except for Stephen.
Oh, really? Stephen's not. He doesn't often show up at these things.
Yeah. Probably not invited to his brother, like the event to honor his brother, though.
And importantly, we have Alec's daughter, Ireland, looking like she's in a complete other photo. Like she's so standout in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And his wife, Hilaria, who has been such a constant scandal for so long. It's getting tiresome.
Just what a great photo. Just the De Niro feels. I mean, Jack McBrayer right next to De Niro feels like such a great combo right there.
We need
Hi,
to
Mr. De Niro. It's so nice to meet you.
we need to post this photo
roll.
in the comments of the Patreon post
Yeah.
or something, because
Yeah.
you've got to see Daniel Baldwin and Billy Baldwin in the picture wearing the same tux. It is creepy to look at Daniel Baldwin and Billy Baldwin. And it's seriously, it's creepy.
It is a little creepy. Yeah.
Like even like the way it's fanned out is exactly the same. Like it's like one of them was told, try and do an impersonation of the guy next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right. That's funny. Oh, look at these.
Awesome.
Who's the center? Who's the one next to Bill Clinton? Clinton looks like he's trying to avoid any contact.
That's
with.
Ireland.
Baldwin.
That's Ireland. Okay.
Yeah, Alex.
Well, who's the one married to Justin Bieber? Or am I mixing all the people up? Isn't there a Baldwin married to a Bieber? Do I have that wrong? Haley Baldwin.
I think both of them end with B, and I think that's caused.
No, I think he's married to Haley Baldwin. I think that's correct, and he's someone's kid. Hold on, Haley.
Maybe you're right.
When dad.
I wouldn't be proud to win this argument, but whatever.
It's Puds.
That's what you want to.
It's Pud
you
Boy.
wanna live life.
It's Stephen Baldwin's kid. That's who it is.
All right, perfect. Nailed it.
Stephen Baldwin's kid. Okay.
She's married to Bieber, so that must be a fun Thanksgiving right there. You know?
Bieber,
Yeah.
Baldwin, Bieber.
Bieber,
Yeah.
Baldwin.
Bieber.
I just can't believe these people are still in their 20s. Justin Bieber feels like he has been in his 20s for 100 years.
Right.
He totally does.
It's time to move on. He needs to move on in age. Needs to get past it. But what is he? 28?
Well, he's gonna turn 30 in March. I'm just tired of him being in his 20s. It seems unreal.
Sometimes people, Christina Aguilera, not Aguilera. Who's the one from Brazil?
Shakira.
Shakira.
Yeah, Shakira.
Shakira has been 25 her whole life.
Well, she's 46 now.
I know, but she doesn't look like it. Every time I look at her, I go, "What are you doing?"
I mean, her hips told me that she's 25, and as we know,
and they don't lie. So,
hips don't lie.
Yeah. Do you think? By the way, one last thing on this photo. Do you think they asked Tina Fey to take the photo? Is that why Tina Fey's not
that
in
would
this?
be fantastic.
Yeah, where is she?
I would like to believe Tina Fey is like DGAF. She's like not even here.
Oh, I can't imagine. Again, it's like a thing to honor Alec Baldwin, and you've got Krakowski and Tracy Morgan and stuff. How could she not be there for this? And Jack McBrayer. It feels like, if unless some medical thing kept her from being there. Yeah.
What if the Baldwin daughter, the tall blonde one? What if she's touching Bill Clinton's bum?
Yeah, a little inappropriate.
100%.
Yeah.
You think
Why
so?
do you think he's smiling so much?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on back
Or
there?
actually, Tracy Morgan is touching his ass. That's why he's
Tracy
smiling.
Morgan.
I did not ask her to put a finger up my anus.
Whoa! I just meant over the pants. Just
Yeah,
I wasn't. I wasn't going all the way there.
Whatever.
Holy
it was
crap!
applied.
Finger in the butt.
One of the things I love about Saturday Night Live is that there's this New York City crew. There are these people who are all sort of like in the orbit of 30 Rock, and they are living sort of nearby. So like last night on Saturday Night Live, Tina Fey and Candice Bergen just walked out on stage.
Really?
I just
cool. I haven't seen that part
you didn't
yet.
see the beginning.
No. We picked up right before Noah Khan's first song, and then did 2 skits, and then went to bed.
I just love that idea that like Jack
Who's getting
McBrayer lives in the city, and
it's the whole reason why like Alec Baldwin has hosted so many times. It's like, oh crap, so and so backed out. Who can we get? Alec Baldwin, great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he was
He
around.
he lives around the corner.
Yeah. When you're around, you're around.
And he can read a cue card like nobody's business.
You want to hear some clips like nobody's business?
Yes.
Oh, you got clips?
I
Wait a
do.
minute.
I sure do. Let's start with this one. Hold on. There it is. This is a crooked son of a bitch.
You crooked son of a bitch.
That's happy-go-lucky.
Son of a
That's the
bitch.
young guy getting ready to get burned.
Aw.
Here's the first weird fire sound. We got a few more. Of those coming up.
that was a sneeze at the beginning.
I've sure sounds like it.
It's also it's the one that propels the dude through the windshield.
Oh,
of his
the
280Z.
windshield. He is totally gnarled.
But when you see that clip, when the explosion happens, there is nothing that blows him through the windshield. So unless it shot him straight up, and then he 30 seconds later came straight back down and landed in his windshield, they needed to do something a little bit different with the special effects.
Something about that didn't make sense, but the body looked cool, I guess. So there's that.
Burn up face through the thing. Oh yeah,
gnarly.
bad stuff.
Crispy.
Bad stuff.
Mice and matches.
Mice and matches.
All right, thank you.
That's what did it.
Barbara De Niro.
Mice and matches until we can figure out something else.
Played this earlier, but it's worth playing again.
Spinach!
Yeah, spinach.
I love there was no payoff for that. It was just some weird shit he had said. I love that never was resolved.
Yeah. This is, I wrote here, right beside me, yell at Ibbott's date.
Yeah.
Well, it's some prom thing.
I'm sure it's a prom
probably.
thing. And as you know, the name Brian gets yelled a lot. So probably I did that. So let's find out what we did. Here we go.
Told you to stay right beside me, Brian!
Oh,
there's the F.
There's the F-bomb. That's
There
why I
it
couldn't
is.
find it because I labeled it so weird. But right be F inside me? Wait.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Play it again.
Told you to stay right beside me, Brian!
No one on this planet has ever done that that part of that word.
Combination.
I mean, I haven't myself, but heck, I mean, you can put that word into any syllable. Split any multi-syllable word with that, and it
You
works.
can, but you shouldn't.
Yes, that's my point. Yes. Team Johnson way here. I agree with that.
Yeah, but right effing beside me, right beside effing me. Well, definitely not that, but
Right be effing side me.
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's like saying unbe effing believable or unbe effing leavable, or was it unbe?
Yeah, see, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. It's not.
We're
saying it too many times.
Better if I actually say the F word and not just F.
Right. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Yeah.
Saying it wrong. Saying it without the F word doesn't actually work. All right.
Also,
here,
angry acting, anyone? My God.
Oh, he was into it. He does even worse later, but yeah, that's a good one. Robert De Niro's Job. Here you go.
I have a very uncomplicated job. To decide if a fire is arson or not. And if so, to catch the son of a bitch doing it.
Yeah, that's his job.
That's the son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
He kind of ran through the emphasis there. He's admitting that he knows it's a very complicated job. He's calling it a very uncomplicated job.
Yeah.
But that's the irony he's trying to. I don't know. I had to listen to it again. I was like, what did he just say? Like, why? Oh,
it was De Niro irony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. De Niro. Here is, I don't know what this is.
You know that little glow that started to blink in the corner of your eye? That's your career dissipation light. Just went into overtime.
Oh, my label's all wrong on that.
Overtime. Oh.
Yeah, but still, it's like, so we're supposed to believe that that fleeting moment, Billy Baldwin's character is like, oh, that's a good line. I'm going to remember that to use later. See if I can use that on him later. Because being able to say that stupid line verbatim back to him at the press conference.
Agreed.
Months later? What?
Yeah. It's weird, right? It's just a weird thing to have your character remember.
Yeah.
All right, this is what I said the first time I changed my daughter's diaper. This is years ago, but this is what I said.
I think it appropriate that we recognize the two ass wipes.
Because, those are important in the process.
Right.
We use about 2 each time, never more than 2, maybe 3 on a real bad day, but
I am a sociopath 1 minute. I am making jokes the next minute. I am burning people to death.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Axeman.
I'm Axeman. Here is the boat or something. I don't know what this is.
Hey, this boat could be great, don't you think?
Oh, when he's drunk and going to sleep.
I'm so drunk. This boat could be sad. Love this boat.
I like the spitty aspect you're adding to it.
That's what you have to do when you're drunk. You be a little bit spitty.
I wrote what was with this song, so get your Hornsby shield out, I guess, Randy. Here we go.
And a long list of victims, everybody watching.
I
mean, it brings me back, but I don't miss it.
Yeah, it's the piano on top of the synthesizer sound. It doesn't work anymore. It sounded great at the time.
No,
it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work quite like it used to. Here's weird fire sound number 2.
Come on!
Yeah, come on.
I like how the fire yells "come on" at the end.
Yeah, he really found his voice by the end of the movie. Slow-mo sound is the thing that bugged Ibbot and bugs me also and should bug everyone. Slow motion sound and voice and video. Hate it.
Yeah.
Really don't like it.
But you would hate even more. You'd hate it even more.
I wouldn't like any of it. They don't need to do it. Is all I'm saying. And this happens in like Lord of the Rings movies I love.
Yeah.
But don't do it.
No, don't say it. Don't say a name. If you just say no, that's also bad. That didn't work out for Darth Vader.
Also, no offense to any Stevens listening, but Steven in slow motion, it just doesn't sound. I mean, it's not cool.
No.
I don't know what name sounds better. Like,
Scott
Jackson. Maybe
Actually,
none of it's
that sounds
good.
pretty good because Scott. It's almost like a yell, right?
Yeah.
You don't yell anything that sounds like yeah. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, Brian would be hard. Brian.
Yeah, too many syllables.
Yeah. Steven for some reason works.
Randy. Yeah, I like Randy. That would work out. Randy.
Yeah, I like Randy.
Yeah.
Randy's good.
Yeah.
All right, yelling about a lake of gas.
Was that before or after you noticed you were standing in a lake of gasoline, you idiot?
This is some angry acting, freaking top-notch business going on.
So it is, and just confirms that I never in my life want to get yelled at by Robert De Niro.
Oh, can you imagine, dude?
Jeez.
Oh, he would just be so intimidating.
I suppose after Mr. De Niro.
He's just so like, I don't know. You're right. I don't want to be yelled at by him.
Yeah. Jeez.
Again, I've told this story before. I used to have a friend who worked as a personal assistant for Robert De Niro and could not get out of that job fast enough.
Really?
Yeah. He used to say, write privately to some friends, like email back when we emailed because,
Did anyone think that De Niro would be pleasant to work for?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not me, man.
That. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. He seems very much like, he's got to have it De Niro's way and he's got to do it. No, nope.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, my recollection, I could probably find these emails if I dug. My recollection was that his big comparison was always to Jack Nicholson, who was known as being like the best boss for his assistants, like the assistants that wanted to stick with this person for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And then De Niro was a revolving door because of personal.
Could you milk me? Did he ask that our assistants a lot of times?
I hope not. Jeez. I don't want to get milked. Or he doesn't want to get. I don't want to see anybody milking De Niro.
I have nipples.
Yeah. Can I milk you? Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Here's something about a shadow. I don't know what I wrote.
Shadow.
Oh, it's when
everybody had a nickname, even the arsonist.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's real
Well,
life.
that was the arsonist nickname for De Niro.
Yeah.
Cast a permanent shadow on the wall.
Oh, right. That's right. Because his back, he got burnt.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Back burnt.
Pretty good special effects. Do you think he was annoying when they tried to apply those to him, though? Like, if he's bad on his assistants, they're like, hold still, Mr. De Niro.
De Niro is kind of I feel like De Niro is the kind of guy that's not going to allow there to be any quiet space. So I think he's going to be talking the entire time.
Those interviews I was watching, there was one with Baldwin too, where he was talking about how he was just so intimidated that first scene that he had to do with De Niro. And then afterwards, De Niro called him into his office, his green room or trailer or whatever, and said, I want to just say I had a great thing with you today, great scene with you today. You're fantastic. Reaches into the little freezer in his trailer and pulls out a bottle of tequila and pours a shot for he and
He seems all right. He seems fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I want to be his assistant, but that sounds fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Sound effect number 3. That guy. Oh!
Yeah, that was
fire is screaming. Jeez.
That's where you get the hint about what's about to happen with the little wisp of smoke under the door.
Yeah, I like that.
That was Iron Eagle Kid taking a dive.
Right.
Yeah.
Say the name of your movie.
Another Backdraft.
Another Backdraft.
That's what they said when they asked him to be in the sequel.
Yeah.
and Billy said, which guy is this? Yeah. Billy said, yeah,
Billy,
I'll do it.
yeah. William or Billy.
Here's Clint Howard. He shows up.
And the attitude of both trajectories are consistent with explosion.
Yeah, and then he laughed like this. Whoops. I don't know why I laughed like that.
I love it.
That's fine.
It's great.
Okay, so this is interesting. Your mom sent me some stuff.
No,
My mom. Yeah,
your
sure.
mom,
Okay.
Ibit's mom. One of Brian's old dates talking to your former best friend. So this is not, you're not present for this.
Okay.
She's talking to one of your old best friends about her time with you.
Wait, the date is talking to one of my best friends.
Yes.
Former best friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you formally dated the girl, I think.
Around my mom or
No,
without
she
my
just
mom?
happened to be there somehow. I don't know how your mom does
Okay.
this.
Can we
She's
get more
always there.
detail, please?
No, no
I
more
know,
detail
yeah.
than that. That's
Trying
all you
to
get.
set the scene here.
And here's what you got.
Come on, you only bang on the roof when you got something on your mind. How's Brian doing?
Yeah, what's Brian doing?
That's Brian doing.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you think that was a double entendre where she was like,
No.
she says
No,
this, not
I
they hadn't
don't.
gotten
I
to the
don't
roof of the car yet. I don't know if you call that a roof though. You know.
No. That
Was
not
the
a
roof
double
on fire?
entendre.
Right.
No.
Well, she's gonna bang on the top of the thing. Actually, that wasn't her anyway. That was
No,
Rebecca
that was
De Mornay.
Rebecca De Mornay talking to Kurt Russell. Neither
That's
of them
right.
banged on the roof of the truck.
That's right. They just
Yeah,
did weird
shows
cuddling.
he shows up on the roof, and it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
I don't
my
know. It
house.
just
I'm gonna fix my roof of my house.
But the way she said it, you get the feeling that sometimes he's just sitting out there on the roof.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, it just didn't fit his character to me.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Felt like it just felt like a different story.
Yeah.
It was
I'll give you that. All right, here's him getting all mad again.
Such bullshit.
Yeah, such
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Have you ever? I
Love
mean that
his-
that
love
is
his voice.
him. That is him 1,000 times.
Such
It is.
bullshit.
Like that could be any movie.
Yeah. Action stars of the 80s. He's the one I'd want to have a beer with out of all of them. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Willis, any of them. I'd want to have a beer with Kurt Russell.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He also is doing better work later than the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did see Randy recommended on TMS that Sly documentary. It's very good. Highly recommend it. Yeah, worth seeing. Say the name one more time, movie.
And he made his Burns backdrafts.
Yeah, more backdrafts.
Made his Boone's backdrafts.
Now this will make you hungry.
Chinese sponge cake?
Yeah, it's Chinese.
I did love that line. Made me laugh.
Yeah. Here's I'm surprised they left this in, but here's a scene that really was weird.
Gas. Check in there.
Oh man. They really leaned into it. They were just like,
Should have seen it coming.
Really did, yeah.
Should have, but I didn't.
Yeah. Here's what you say at McDonald's when you get a bad nugget.
You, Ronald.
Yeah, F you, Ronald.
or no, it should have been when they stopped serving McRib again.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you get one this time, Dunaway? Did you grab a?
I know. No.
Oh man.
I didn't make it.
I did. I had a McRib.
BS.
Yeah, how was it?
My
Did you take the weird
my
little
first
onions
one
off?
in about 10 years, probably. It was everything I expected it to be. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a rousing
Yeah,
endorsement.
I mean, nothing. Say what you want about McDonald's. They're consistent. It's just not always consistently good.
Yeah. It's
Just
fair
fired
way to
up the app here to see if either of mine look. So you now do everything in the app. Like if you go to McDonald's and don't use the app, you're crazy.
I'm not comfortable with giving Ronald McDonald my location, so I can't do it.
You can't do it? Why do you not trust them over somebody
He's
else?
like a clown.
Just the clown. The whole mascot thing, I just can't.
Oh, it's just the clown. All right.
Just a clown.
But you'd be okay with that creepy king?
Oh yeah, I'm fine with the king. He can come over anytime.
Wow.
Yeah. I prefer Whoppers to Big Macs anyway.
I do too, for sure. But I still don't want the king knowing my location.
I love that the McRib locator lets you know where you can get the cheapest McRib and where you're going to get the most expensive McRib.
Oh, is that real?
I thought they were
They
all
need
the
to
same price
modify
everywhere.
the McRib locator into the working ice cream machine locator.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, get them all in one place, man.
Yeah.
But they're
I
not.
haven't-
But
I
you're not
haven't-
gonna be able to get the McRib unless it's the season, right? To get them,
Right. Yeah.
Right, which is right now. Hurry.
It still
they're
is.
about to
Okay.
close.
All right.
Oh, Dunaway, you got a chance. You got time.
I got a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, get in there, dude. All right, sounds just like The Rock. Now, here's the music I was talking about. I love Hans Zimmer. Love him, especially work from about the early 2000s and forward. It's really his best time. Everything he did in the 90s sounded the same. This soundtrack is just, it's like how a show will kind of do a cover of a thing, but do it a little bit off so they don't have to pay the rights. Do you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. Right.
That's what this feels like. Listen to this. And we just, I just saw The Rock again, so it's fresh in my head. But this is the same music. Yeah. So instead of dun 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 dun, it goes dun 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 dun. It's like they just upped a little thing.
It's basically they vanilla iced it basically.
Yeah, phone
Yeah,
that
vanilla
shit.
iced it, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you're saying The Rock when it's so like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was gonna say pirates. Yeah,
They're all the same.
yeah.
They're all the same. But I'm telling you, if you go listen to a chunk of The Rock and then listen to that, they are. I almost did it, but I couldn't find it.
Chunk of the Rock.
You're gonna listen to the chunk of The Rock, will you?
Chunk of the Rock.
All right, going for the. Go ahead.
I just want to state I don't think Hans Zimmer is always the same. Like between The Rock and Pirates, he did Gladiator, which is very different. It doesn't sound like those.
I agree,
and I appreciate that.
It's almost like his Ridley Scott era when it started with Gladiator or whatever it did. That started to set him apart, and he got I don't know, just got more creative or something. Now it's like he's top tier. He's like one of the best. His Nolan stuff. Freaking unsurpassed in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
love him. All right, let's get to this. The final two clips. This is about going for the hose.
I'm going for the hose.
I'm going for the hose. I'm going for the hose.
Thank you for not using that for the prom date.
Yeah,
right. That would have been great.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. Regrets. I have regrets. Dunaway though said a thing earlier that I'm glad he did because I'm going to repeat it now.
Look at him. That's my brother. God damn it.
I hated that. I hated that.
I did too. Yes.
I love hated it. I couldn't decide. In one way, I was like, yeah, I loved it. In other ways, I hated it.
No one can hit a little hose like my brother. God damn it.
Yeah.
Look at him.
I mean, I understand the audience's need for some closure and all that, but come on.
It's so Ron Howard. You can't help but love it.
No.
Yeah.
He was about to go nuts. What do you have after this? Apollo 16 or 18?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. What was it?
Yeah, it was 16. Apollo 16. Nailed it. No one correct him. Leave it.
18, right?
Yeah.
It's 18.
Leave it where it's at.
Apollo 11. No. What was
Leave
it?
it where it's at.
You're almost there. If you keep naming
Apollo
numbers
12?
between 10 and 20, you're gonna hit it.
What is it? Hold on. This is gonna
Yes,
piss
you're
me
gonna
off.
hit it. Just keep naming numbers.
I don't want to.
Keep going.
13. 13. It's 13.
There you go.
Baby. Jeez.
Oh, what do we win?
So that was a few years later. Let's see. When did he? Okay, producer. I don't care. Let's look at director. Okay, director. I can't find it. Anyway, I wanted to see what his. Oh, here it is. Okay, so he's got like 4 movies in the works. That guy's busy.
Mm-hmm. He's a busy guy.
Okay, so he directed. Let me just go back a little here. Parenthood in '89.
I'm going to say he
Backdraft.
really jumps into the higher tier with Cocoon. That's what kicks it off.
Right away.
Oh, I forgot Cocoon was his. Yeah, you're right.
I got that on VHS. Yes.
And so then he has Cocoon, Willow, Backdraft, and Far and Away as like his first set of like tier 1. Then he goes to tier S with Apollo 13.
Yes.
What do you think about
he
Parenthood? Parenthood was pretty good. I'd put that in there. That was between Willow and Backdraft. I like Parenthood, right? The movie
Okay.
Parenthood.
Oh yeah, I like it. It's just not. It's not.
yeah.
It's not like important for the director.
Sure. Far and Away, I liked, but no one likes it except me.
Oh, I love that movie.
Do you? Good. I like it too. I'm a fan.
What do you mean
Ransom's
no one
all
likes
right.
it? Why does no one like it?
I think at the time, anyway, I remember a lot of complaints about it just being overly melodramatic.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Have you seen
liked it.
Backdraft?
And isn't that the movie where Cruise and what's her name got together?
Yeah, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, that was their thing.
No, Nicole Kidman. Yeah.
I mean, the complaint should be that it has no business starring Tom Cruise as an Irishman.
Yeah,
that should be the complaint.
Yeah. Do you think Beautiful Mind's still his like opus though? That's like his big one, probably.
Oh,
pretty up there.
First for me, it's Frost Nixon. I love that movie, but
that's so good. Yeah.
Only one I haven't seen.
How about Solo, a Star Wars story? No,
Not so much.
It's very well directed.
Yeah,
I feel like it's very well directed.
Oh, go back if you haven't seen his his last directed film, 13 Lives. I recommended it on TMS. That movie is freaking great. The acting's superb in that. Colin Farrell, Viggo Mortensen, Joel rather, Paul Gleason. Oh, great movie. It's about those kids that got stuck the time when he's soccer team that got stuck in the cave. So it's based on a true story, but it is so well acted, man. I'm telling you, 13 Lives, don't ignore it. It's great.
Interesting.
Okay.
He's gotten a lot of accolades for Hillbilly Elegy from a couple years ago with Amy Adams and Glenn Close. Haven't seen it, but
nothing about that.
2 Academy Award nominations, a BAFTA nomination, Golden Globe nomination.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. It's
Yeah.
controversial because the author's, what's his name, who's now a congressman.
Nut job.
Total nut job.
Oh, okay, yeah, the J.D. Vance thing, yes.
Yeah, J.D.
right.
Vance. And so it just kind of marred it a little for some people. I didn't care. I didn't see it, but it's unfortunate. It's probably, I mean, the material in the book, may be fine, but it's easy for people to get all wrapped up into, once again, we get wrapped up into politics and we can't see past it. So
I think it narrows down for me between Apollo 13 and Willow. I think those are the two.
Love Willow. I watched that recently again. Still so good.
I think Willow's okay. I don't love it. I don't love Willow.
Oh, yeah, I can't forget The Paper, too, the Michael Keaton.
That's
I can totally forget it. What's it about?
Really?
Yeah.
Come
Reasonable.
on now. Really?
It's about The Paper.
Michael Keaton is the editor-in-chief of
Spotlight.
I think he's
No.
You talking about Spotlight?
It's not Spotlight.
It's not Spotlight, but
oh shit.
94 film, Marissa Tomei, Randy Quaid, Robert Duvall. It was really
Randy's
good.
saying
It was
it's
like
forgettable.
He's saying it's forgettable. I know.
Not ringing a bell for me.
Had a
really?
great Bruce Hornsby song in there.
Oh.
Well, you've
Good
got
job,
him
my
Had a great
friend.
Randy Newman song in there, actually.
now. Yeah.
Oh, I love that you said that.
Jason Alexander, Catherine O'Hara, Spalding Gray, Jason Robards, Marissa Tomei is a big deal.
Oh yeah, The Paper. It's a really good film, and it just didn't make an impact. But
importantly, it includes Clint Howard.
Yeah, Clint Howard's in it. Wow.
Of course, Clint Howard.
What?
But you know what? It was right during that time when I was working for the software company that worked with newspapers, and so this made more of an impact on me, probably because of that. Definitely because of that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I kind of want to see
going
it
to
now.
a lot of newspapers.
Worth seeing now, think it holds up and all that.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it
next
held up
week on
then.
Film Sack. No, wait, it's not streaming. It is
Oh,
not
that's a shame.
streaming. Hold your horses.
That's a shame.
Damn it.
Well, we're not
Put it
seeing
on
the paper.
Put it on the watch list, though.
Yeah, put it on the paper.
It's
Done.
good. Yeah, look at the cast and the directing and all that stuff.
Oh, it looks amazing. I'll watch it. All right. Well, that's the end of that. Let's get to the this thing. It's the Film Sack checklist. May backdrafts. What? I don't know what I meant. Oh, many.
May the backdraft be with you? Oh.
I think
many
I left out the
backdrafts.
end.
Yeah,
I was
that's
so
good.
tired
I like that
yesterday.
better.
Here's the next one is if a door breathes in first, don't open it.
Yeah.
And finally, they should have had they should have had Axe spray his own body with water so that he could be called Axe Body Spray.
Oh, there you go. Very good.
Oh, gosh. It helps that I screwed it up as I read it. Moving on. Let's do Star Trek connections. I got to think there's somebody in here.
There is somebody. The most of it is stuntmen and a couple of camera operators, which kind of threw me. So there are these two camera operators named David Lukenbach and Gregory Lunsgaard, who on Star Trek movies, are behind the camera. But then in this movie, they were in front of the camera somehow. Like one of them was a security officer, one of them was a high-rise fireman in the elevator, along with the others. And it's just okay, that's interesting. It's not that great a connection, but we have one of our best connections we've visited many times on Film Sack, and that is Clint Howard. Clint Howard as the pathologist. I love that they just named him Rico. That's his whole name, Rico.
Yeah.
He's been in Star Trek. Boy, has he been in Star
Oh,
Trek.
yes, he has. My favorite.
Some
it's my
OGs,
favorite
some
appearance when he's when he's the kid. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
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 I'll just run down the list. Discovery, Enterprise, Deep Space Nine, the original. Like you just say, he was in Star Trek, the original series. But recently, just this past year, he was in an episode of Strange New Worlds.
Wow.
And I really like that Star Trek is keeping the Clint Howard coming back.
Yeah.
For sure.
I heard the nicest interview with Ron Howard the other day, talking about his brother and talking about Andy Griffith and how he credits him almost entirely for breaking the norm, which is child actors have a shitty time growing up.
Yeah.
And he said, those people are my family. Like when we had our rap party for the final season, he's 14. He's feeling like a teenager. He's a little surly or whatever. And what's his name gets up. Andy Griffith does a little speech. And by the first 3 sentences of the speech, Ron Howard's just sobbing in tears. Like he just can't deal with it. Because this is like his second dad.
Wow.
And he was already really close to his real dad. So I don't know. There's some lesson there about the people you're around when you're a child actor probably will help a lot about where you end up. And so the Corey Feldmans of the world who,
got eaten up
by the system, by perverts, by, hideous behavior, all that stuff. You just wish they all had Ron Howard treatment. And maybe that doesn't exist anymore in Hollywood, or maybe it does more now because we're more aware of it.
We talk about that. Wasn't like some of the sets like Full House, they were, Saget and all those guys are supposed to have been
they were good
to
guys.
everybody around them. I think Growing Pains also had like a good experience for the actors on there too. I think maybe except for what was the sister's name? Because she had all
Tracy
anorexia problems.
Gold. She had all kinds of
because the
problems.
writers kept putting her in like fat jokes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. She ended up with
Bullshit.
a bad eating disorder and drug problems and all that. But yeah, I don't know. It makes me think no one appreciates Andy Griffith enough for when he was here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think it's possible to get out of the spiral. Like I think Shia LaBeouf is the example.
Oh, yeah.
Of you can be a child actor who goes crazy and then not. You can kind of recover from it.
Does someone have a cat scratching at their leg or something? What is that sound I'm hearing?
I love it. It's like a dog going to town on his.
So Tristan is over here using our shower because the heat's off in their apartment.
Nice.
Oh no.
The heat and water and all that stuff. Not because of non-payment, but because of problems in their whole building. And Tina's downstairs now because we're like, why are the pipes making that horrendous noise?
That is great. That's the pipes making that noise? Oh,
it is the pipes. It's scaring me. It's like I feel like it's the wisp of the smoke before the
oh my God,
things burst.
You're like in Backdraft. You're in wherever the plumbing Backdraft is.
Something's borked, man. That doesn't sound right. That's really weird. I mean, pipes vibrate for sure, but
yeah, I think something came loose, and I think it's really just a pipe vibrating in the wall. Like it broke its little, or something happened with its little shackle.
I don't know plumbing.
Anything, Tina? No, I don't know. But don't tuck that whole cord in there. I need the part that connects to stick out.
This is amazing.
Can this be a new segment? I really enjoy this.
Something scary is happening behind me. The segment.
Yeah. I'm in.
It's behind me, isn't it? We need to have that.
It's behind me. Well, we had that whole Dunaway behind me thing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. I have that over here. That photo, I'm going to put that up on TMS on Monday.
What's that?
I'm going to put Brian's photo behind me on Monday.
Tina says, hey to everybody.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi, Tina.
Tell Tina, what was the thing she got wrong?
69.
Yeah.
This got 69 right out of Disneyland.
So good. All right. Well, there's your Star Trek connections. Thank you, Randy, for that. Soundtrack grade, I give it an ALM for a little much. I think it was a little over the top. Just my take. I don't want to speak for everybody, but whatever. Hans Zimmer, I love you. He wouldn't get to his bong era until
and now we're past that. We're into the simplicity era of Hans Zimmer, which is nice.
Which is totally fine. I mean, Brian Ibbett probably misses his Video Killed the Radio Star days, right? A little bit. Wasn't he in that band? I think he was in there.
The Buggles?
Yeah.
No. Trevor Horn?
I think Hans Zimmer was in that band. He played keyboard.
No.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Like, there is a connection there, yes.
He's in the video. He's on keyboards in the video.
He's in the video, but I don't remember if he was actually in the band because it was just mostly the two guys. It was Trevor Horn and
let's see. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, here it is. Worked with the Buggles, Trevor Horn, Jeff Downs, and Bruce Woolley.
Okay.
He can be seen briefly in the music video, but Trevor Horn is quite famously again another keyboardist.
Oh, gotcha.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Yes, like he did the whole 90125.
So what was his deal with them? Was he was just for that song or for that album or something?
I think just for that song, maybe adding keyboards or something. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He also did a bunch of moonlighting music, so there you go.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Did some for that. Something called Success is the Best Revenge. I don't know what that movie is. And My Beautiful Laundrette in 1985.
Interesting.
Well done, Hans Zimmer. Okay, moving on to The Social Post. This is where you guys take this movie and you sum it up in 280 characters or less, an arbitrary number we completely made up because we're not giving credit to this old weird site called Twitter. Anyway, let's start this week with Randy.
Backdraft. There once was a man who got done in a fire watched by his young son. Then his firstborn turned into their dad's straight-up twin, so he died because there can be only one.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Dark and deep on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw it over to Dunaway.
Backdraft. You got to be kidding me. An actual operating A-track? Burn it all.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you at the next parole hearing. # Daddy Brother.
Nicely done. Finally, Brian Ibbett.
Backdraft, a movie about a young firefighter who likes to watch old men get dressed.
Oh, man, that's more accurate than we'd like to say. Let's move on to alternate titles. These were just handed to me, and I got them right here. This was almost called the Robert De Niro Detective Hour, but then they cut too much of his scene, so they didn't do it. Or it was Scott Glenn in the Den with a Pen.
Ooh,
They only used those words because they rhymed, and it sounded a little like playing what's the game? where it was
the rhyming game?
It was the butler in the kitchen. What am I thinking of?
Clue.
Clue. It's like a little game of Clue there. Let's move on to emails. Here's an email, filmsack@gmail.com. Shay wrote in and said, "Hi, Dunjabidjorn John."
Oh,
Perfect.
hi, Shay.
Perfectly done. Yeah.
So we know what grossed Scott out the most this week. They were talking about last week. But we need a top 3 of all time Film Sack gross Scott out the most rundown. What takes the coveted number 1 spot? Will this top 3 make Scott literally hurl on air? Though, Shay.
Can I just we're in the end of a really, really long episode, and I just want to suggest this could make a great bonus from Scott. I would love to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just like, because it might take a little research.
Give the milk
and
away
thought.
for free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it might take a little from you. And
you have till March. Can you do it, Scott?
Yes, I can do it. I can make it. Would it be, because I don't know them. I don't remember all of them.
You can tease us.
I can go back and look at some notes, but it's not going to be very comprehensive.
Just give us a tease. You have like a top. Just
what
one
came
top.
to mind as you were reading that?
Oh my gosh. I know.
Is it more recent?
Fingers and
I totally know what it is. It's
I hold on. Can I guess?
Guess.
From Dusk Till Dawn, Salma Hayek's serving champagne down her leg into Tarantino's mouth.
God.
Pretty, if not number 1, very, very close. The one I was thinking of was the side of what's his name's face getting licked in that Transporter movie.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That was pretty good.
But they're kind of in the same. They're in the same boat. Those two.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Salma Hayek thing, I'd kind of forgotten. I think that might take the.
Because there's a whole toe like kicking his lips with her toe, kind of doing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
At least I'm visualizing it. It probably isn't, but that's at least what I'm remembering.
I'm pretty sure that's that. I think that is top spot. So maybe the special would be more like a few examples, but like what is it? What do you have to do to really get me in a movie?
Right,
like that?
because I'm very, very interested in understanding. Like, we sacked The Fly, which is just nonstop grossness. Like, as long as every scene with Brundlefly is absolutely disgusting, and it's for Scott, it's like, yeah, but like, there's almost
also,
like
it's fake.
Yeah, that's why. It's just I'm able to. Well, there have been a couple of examples where it is special effects and it still grosses me out, but most of the time it's the idea of what that would be in real life. And in the case of the Salma Hayek foot in his mouth, I mean, that's really happening.
It's not CGI foot. Yeah.
No, and I feel bad for her. Like, I'm sure she agreed to it. I'm sure it was all written out. Everybody knew what they were getting into. But dude.
But I'm sure at the first meeting, she's like, "You want me to what?" I'm sure.
I'm sorry. Hello. What? Yeah.
Como se dice? Or, what's the phrase? It wouldn't be that. It would be that's how you say. But whatever the Spanish equivalent of is. Come again?
Well, I've always said that the reason that she can grow her eyebrows together for Frida was because she squinted so hard when he was chewing on her foot that it naturally grew hair there. That's what I've always said. Anyway, Shay, thank you for that. We'll see what we can do there. We also got a phone call at 801-471-0462 about the Bond thing. We've been doing a lot of Bond lately, and they had this to say.
Hey, Film Sack crew, calling from Seattle, calling in right now to give y'all a white-hot plasma take, which is that the best Bond song, not the best Bond theme, but the best Bond song, is the theme song to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Listen to that song, especially with the context and knowing what Kojima was inspired by and the film and how he wanted to get into film and American film and spy thrillers and everything about MGS3. And you listen to that song and you tell me that that's not the best Bond song you've ever heard. Not theme, but song. Anyways, plasma take for y'all. Love the show, though. Cheers.
All right. I'm going to
play the show, though.
We'll play a little bit of this. Let's see what we think, okay? Oh my gosh.
It's pretty hot. Pretty hot.
I'm going to jump ahead a little. Oh my gosh, it is, dude.
It is super Bondy. Yeah. But I mean, on that same token, you can say the Spy Hard, Weird Al Yankovic's Spy Hard theme is a Bond theme.
Yeah.
By that same token. That same logic.
You could accept that one as clearly they're making fun of Bond, or they're doing a parody.
They're parodying, yeah.
Whereas this is like a
this
pretty
is an homage.
serious take, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought of that. That's an amazing game. They're about to put out a remake of that. I'm very excited to play it. It's really good. Old but good, like us.
Yeah. Old but goody.
Anyway, thank you for that. 801-471-0462 is that number, and filmsack@gmail.com if you want to send your emails in. I would like to thank some brand new patrons this week who joined us at patreon.com/filmsack for a brand new month of Film Sackery. We have Grave Fitness. Oh, Grave Fitness.
It's not my favorite 24-hour exercise location.
No, it's not good. It's not great. You have to shower with men. You don't want that.
That's the biggest complaint.
Yeah, that's my big complaint. Also, David Cooper, who makes the Statue of Liberty disappear. No, I'm sorry, that's David Copperfield. This is David Cooper, different guy. Jonathan Hartford, Crucigen, Diego Avila, and Petey Sneakies.
Sneaky Petey's.
They're all in here this week, getting no commercials ever, pre-show content, host specials like Randy alluded to, artwork in the mail. I did some art of the glaive from the original.
Oh, I saw that. Cool. I love that.
Yeah, the original Krull, our first episode. And so I drew the glaive. I did it live on a live stream, and that thing is getting printed and sent to our listeners. So
I like the little hidden Star of David in the middle too.
Oh yeah, it's great. Now I've got that to worry about. That's fantastic. Anyway, you'll want to check that out. If you're a patron, and at certain levels, you can get all kinds of cool stuff. So go check it out. It's up there and for your perusal now at patreon.com/filmsack. Our next
Scott,
movie.
Can I just try to influence you on your month of Santas? I just want to remind you that James Bond Santa would be a lot of fun.
Oh, that could be fun. I am taking suggestions on theme, so I appreciate that. I'm
not a John Travolta Santa.
No.
That one we don't need any more of.
No, we don't need any more of him. Maybe ever. Just, I'm okay if he retired. What's he doing that I care about right now? Nothing.
What's he doing these days?
Name a Travolta thing that you were like, oh man, he's back. It's been like what, since 94 we felt that way? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, do that. Go do it. Our next movie will be 3 Days of the Condor. 3 days.
3
days
of the Condor.
I didn't see the first 2 days of the Condor, so I'm hoping I understand what's going on in this one.
Because I don't really know. So this is your old Sidney Pollack directed, Robert Redford, Faye Dunaway, Cliff Robertson business.
3 days in the Valley of the Condor. Got it.
No.
3 days grace in the Valley of the Condor.
There, the Valley of the Death of the Valley.
This is streaming on Amazon Prime for us in the U.S. But kind of well-known older film. And what we're doing here is we're watching a couple of movies in the next couple of weeks that are set at Christmas.
Yeah.
This is one I've always wanted to see, and I've always wanted a good reason to see it. And this is a good reason to see it.
And find a handsomer man working in his prime than Redford.
This is going to be peak Robert Redford with the 5-day stubble.
I mean, look at that. Look at his hair. I mean, this guy. Good. I mean, I've never considered myself gay, but today.
That is a hell of a turtleneck too. That's like that is an 8-foot long turtleneck that he's got.
No, that's a scarf.
Oh,
it's got a scarf on it.
All right.
That's funny.
Oh, is it a scarf?
I know. I was really hoping that was a turtleneck.
I thought it was too. Oh, Max von Sydow making a return next week. That's cool.
Yeah.
And not looking 1,000 years old. He looks kind of young because he didn't have all that makeup
Houseman,
on. John Houseman, like you
John Houseman.
earn it. They earn it.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that guy. Anyway, that'll be next week. 3 Days of the Condor on Amazon Prime here in the States or wherever you get it, wherever you are. Filmsack.com is our website. You can go there anytime you want and find all the links you need. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Brian, and for Randy.
That's my brother, goddammit.
We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Mice and matches.
Yeah, mice and matches.
Mice and matches.
Mice and matches. Well, that was a long episode.
I know. Yeah, the movie
Good
was
Lord.
long, episode was long.
Yeah, I didn't realize we'd gone so long.
Yep, and I got to go because I got a parade in about 15 minutes.
Parade?
I'm not in it, but Zoe is.
Merry
Zoe's
Christmas.
in the parade.
Oh, that's
By the way,
fun. Tell
throw the
her.
baton up in
Yeah,
the air
best